baseball coverage. When the Big 8 Conference Championships erupt, you'll find them on PSN.
It has been a 56-year journey for the Broadmoor World Arena. From its beginning as the Broadmoor Riding Academy to its transformation in 1938 to the Broadmoor Ice Palace. It has made history in both figure skating and in hockey. The World Arena is scheduled to be raised at the conclusion of the hockey season, but tonight, the Tigers from Colorado College hope to win their first WCHA title since the Bill Red Hay-led 1957 team won both the WCHA and the NCAA championships. It's DU and Colorado College coming up next. Sports Network presents college hockey. Tonight from the historic Broadmoor World Arena in Colorado Springs, Colorado, it's the DU Pioneers against state rivals, the Tigers of Colorado College. Last night in Denver, Peter Geronazzo's goal at 2:41 of the overtime period gave the Tigers a 4-3 win and kept them in a tie with Minnesota for first place in the WCHA. Good evening, everybody. We're going to do it all over tonight here at the Broadmoor World Arena. I'm Steve Harms along with Ron Grahame. Ron, you have played many games in this old barn. It is about history, but tonight means an awful lot to this Colorado College Tiger team.
It really does, Steve. It means an awful lot. It means a WCHA championship is what it means. It's a great building to play in. The ice is fast. There's no neutral ice, so you got to be quick and get to the puck.
Let's take a look at what this is all about tonight. Colorado College has their destiny in their own hands tonight, Ron.
They really do, Steve. They have 40 points tied with Minnesota, but a win tonight gets them at least a share of the WCHA championship and the MacNaughton Cup.
Let's take a look at the Pontiac keys to the game, brought to you by your Colorado Pontiac dealers. Visit the Colorado Pontiac Excitement team today. First of all, Ronnie, for the DU Pioneers.
For the Pioneers, Jimmy Mullen in goal. They need a solid effort from their goaltender. They need to keep him, Jimmy needs to keep him in the game tonight. And they need to score early. DU needs to get on the board as quick as they can, kind of take the crowd out of it, get a little confidence going into the game.
And for the Tigers of Colorado College?
Again, goaltending. Ryan Bach has played very well for them since coming back from an injury early in February. He needs to have a solid night, and they need to be strong on their special teams. They need to kill penalties when they're down a man, and they need to score goals.
The old Broadmoor World Arena, Ron, is going to be rocking and rolling tonight. We're glad you're with us here on Prime. Stay with us. We'll return with the opening period of tonight's game between the DU Pioneers and the Colorado College Tigers on Prime Sports Network.
College hockey on Prime Sports Network is brought to you by your Colorado Pontiac dealers. See the Colorado Pontiac Excitement team today. North Suburban Medical Center. For information regarding prostate cancer, call North Suburban today. McMillan Sales. In McMillan, you can trust. And by RAF Financial.
McMillan Sales is Colorado's source for bathroom remodeling. We are proudly featuring a full line of Sterling Plumbing Group's bathing systems. These fine products are backed by a full 10-year warranty. McMillan Sales' helpful staff will show you how easy they are to install, and you'll be amazed at the affordability. If you've dreamed of having your bathroom look this beautiful, stop by McMillan Sales showroom today. They're easy to find on the north side of I-70 at the Dahlia exit. We'll help you make your dreams come true.
This is a Pontiac Grand Am. This is a Grand. The Pontiac Grand Am comes with standard anti-lock brakes, driver's side airbag, and air conditioning. The Grand comes with a lovely portrait of Grover Cleveland. The Pontiac is high performance and sporty. The Grand is lightweight and green. With Smart Drive, you can have the Grand Am for $199 a month. You can have the Grand for a grand. So what do the Grand Am and the Grand have in common? Buy the Grand Am now. You get the Grand. This is disclaimer copy. Nothing about it is grand.
Prime Sports Network, celebrating 5 years of great plays.
Inline skating is the hottest fitness sport around, and it's sweeping the nation. Now there's Inline In Shape, the easy-to-follow video for all ages that teaches you how to be a better, more confident skater.
It's like having your own private skating coach. I got up in no time, and I wasn't afraid anymore.
Billy Doyle's reassuring step-by-step lessons provide tons of proven techniques you can practice. Maintenance, safety gear, warm-ups, braking, turning, even lessons on how to skate backwards. Order the video now and get the amazing Audio Skate 1 cassette that actually teaches you as you skate. A $10 value, absolutely free. So get in on the action and fun. Order Inline In Shape today.
I love my Inline In Shape video.
Call now 1-800-253-8665 or send check or money order for $24.95 plus $4.95 shipping and handling to Inline In Shape, Department N, P.O. Box 4943, Omaha, Nebraska.
We are looking for a wild one here tonight. Steve Harbs along with Ron Grahame from the Broadmoor World Arena. All sorts of ceremonies tonight. We are looking for a good one between the Pioneers and the Tigers. Let's take a look at the starting lineups for tonight's game. First of all, for the visiting Denver Pioneers, the international line of Adi Laaksonen, Eric Anderson, and Petri Gunther up front. Back on defense, the senior defenseman Ian DeCorby. We'll hear from him later, along with John McLean. And in the nets tonight, it will be the freshman out of Missouri, Jimmy Mullen, as he will get the start for the Pioneers. There you see his record on the year, and of course there are his numbers, 3.65 goals against. For the Colorado College Tigers, one of the hottest lines in the WCHA, consisting of Jody Jarashevsky, Colin Schmidt, Peter Geronazzo. He had the overtime goal last night. Bob Needham and Shawn Reid on defense, and Ryan Bach will be in the nets for the Tigers tonight. He has had an outstanding year, as he has been the man that has had most of the action. There you see his record, 18-9-4, and a fine goals against average. Our officials for tonight's game, the referees Tom Goddard and Greg Shepard, our linesman Tim Harchie. So we are about ready. Ron Grahame is here. Ron, you know what this is like. You have played in this game, in this arena, many times, and you know, you go to all the arenas. There's something special for a DU player coming down here.
It's always a competitive game. It's a competitive building to play in. It's a special night. Seniors on both sides. Last opportunity to play in the building in the regular season for the CC kids, and DU had their senior night last night. So there's some kids winding down their careers, and it's going to be an emotional evening.
Well, the one last night, we hope you were with us, ended in a 4-3 overtime win for Colorado College. Let's see what the Pioneers can do tonight, as they are really playing right now to get ready for the WCHA playoffs. Here's Geronazzo. He couldn't get it out, and a long shot by Laaksonen, kicked away by Bach, picked up by Reid. Reid over into the corner. Needham tries to get it out. Pinching in is DeCorby. Puck is loose along the boards. Ian keeps it there. Finally picked up by Gunther. He puts it in behind the net where Laaksonen tries to pick it up. Schmidt and Needham finally up with the puck for Colorado College. Here's Geronazzo. Geronazzo's long pass knocked down at center ice by Anderson. Here's Laaksonen, taken away by Schmidt. Play is loose at center ice. Adi Laaksonen, as the Pioneers getting a line change. Over the line, he is ridden out of the play by Paxton, but he had it. He loses the puck, and finally the Pioneers send it right back into the zone. Back after it is Rude. He puts it up on the left side to Raynard. His pass loose at center. Here's Jason Elders. Elders with a weak shot. Nelson knocks it down. Here's Nelson, one of the seniors on this Colorado College team that was honored this evening prior to the game. Over the line is Raynard. Raynard with a back pass. Here's Nelson with a shot, and a save by Mullen. Puck is knocked down. Pioneers get it out to center ice. So Mullen is now into the game, as he had to make the save. Here's Enga. Enga to Nelson. Nelson just bumps it into the zone, where McMillan clears it to center. Pioneers changing. Here's senior Mark Luger. Team captain tries to feed it through to Chris Kennedy. It's knocked loose at center ice. Here's McNeil. McNeil to Remical, and the Pioneers are standing up at the blue line, trying to keep the play at the blue line and trying to eliminate the penetration by Colorado College. Pioneers trying to dump it in. Here's Sean Ortiz, and we have an offsides call as Mike Naylor was bounced into the zone. This has been a long, long rivalry, Ron.
It really has. This is the 200th meeting of the two schools, the University of Denver and Colorado College. The Pioneers lead 127 wins, 66 losses, and 5 ties. The first meeting was January 2nd, 1950, and look at that score. CC scored 16 goals.
Those were on you, right?
That's right.
You were in the net.
DU didn't get on the board. That was a long night.
We kid Ron, but he is one of the great goaltenders of all time in the WCHA. Here are the Pioneers putting it in front. Shot, oh, and Naylor almost with a chance on the rebound. Here's Reid in the corner. Reid, another one of the seniors for Colorado College, loses it to Chris Kennedy. Kennedy centers it out. Nobody is there. Finally on the backhand, a quick shot. Hollingshead with a shot. Naylor with a shot. They score! Naylor on the rebound, and he puts it away. Colorado College ran a little sloppy in their own zone, and Mike Naylor gets the goal.
Well, that was one of the keys, Steve, that we talked about at the beginning of the game. The Pioneers wanted to get on the board early. They wanted to score an early goal, take the crowd out of it, and really they have started like the team that's in contention for the WCHA championship tonight. The Tigers have been back on their heels a little bit. The Pioneers have forechecked real well. They've turned the puck over in the Colorado College zone, and they end up scoring a goal. Kelly Hollingshead jumps in front and gets the pass out, and Mike Naylor is there to put the rebound in. It's a great start for the Pioneers.
Well, the Pioneers take the lead, and Mike Naylor's 9th goal of the year. There are a number of former CC players here tonight. They've had all sorts of ceremonies this weekend, and that kind of quiets them down a little bit. Here's Ian McCorby. We had a conversation with Ian. We'll hear that between periods of tonight's game as he dumps it into the Colorado College zone. We have an icing call, and the faceoff will come back inside of the Pioneer zone. There you see Don Lucia. We also spoke with him. We'll hear from Don later. This is his 7th season in hockey. This is his first year with Colorado College, and Ron, what a turnaround he has engineered this year.
Well, he talked about it at the luncheon, Steve, on Friday up in Denver, and he really just told the kids, let's have fun this year. Let's go out and have fun, play the game the way it's supposed to be played, but enjoy yourselves out there. And it's loosened them up, and they've scored a lot of goals. They've given up a lot, but it's got them to the top of the WCHA.
Pioneers out of their own zone. Here's Andy Laxton at center ice. He sends it into the near side. After it, Paxton, who dumps it around to the far side where Rayner tries to pick it up, but he's hit by Gunther. Puck comes loose out to center ice. Here's Enga. Enga has Nelson with him. Enga fakes the shot, moves into the slot, a quick shot, and that's wide. Off the near boards. They put it in behind the net was Ferns. After it there, Enga, the puck is loose. Here's John McLean. He's taken out of the play. Picked up by Ian DeCorby. DeCorby just sends it high, and it hits the scoreboard, which doesn't have to be very high here in this old barn. We talked about the arena prior to the game tonight, as you see Frank Serratori, but it has been my experience, Ron, as awful of places this is really to watch a game. There are very few good seats of the nearly 4,000 seats here. The ice is always some of the best in college hockey.
It really is, Steve. Yeah, the ice is very good. There's no neutral ice. The end zones, the defensive, offensive zones are limited by 60 feet from goal line to blue line, and neutral ice, there isn't a neutral ice, but the ice is always good. It's fast. You move the puck. If you're skating, it makes a difference.
We're going to take a quick time out here. It is 1-0. Pioneers lead Colorado College on Prime.
So when you're ready to work with an investment firm, we hope you'll think about Stifel Nicolaus. Now, some folks have a little trouble pronouncing our name, and I can understand that. But once they've worked with us, they remember us. You see, we're the ones that give you convenience, real personal service, and investment results that count. With our experienced people ready to help you meet your goals, Stifel Nicolaus is the name worth remembering.
Stifel Nicolaus, investment services since 1890.
From the face-off, Colorado College puts the puck up into the screen. There's a screen that separates, fortunately, the fans from the action here, and the puck was sent from the face-off up into that screen. So we'll have a face-off again to the right of Jimmy Mullen, who has been called upon one time and was up to the task.
He made a good save. He stayed on his feet, come out and challenged. No angle or nowhere for the shooter to get a body.
So the Pioneers trying to get out of their own zone, and here's Jason Elders. Elders is playing on a line with Angelo Ricci and Dave Klasnick. And Klasnick is probably in an opportunity now to try to pick up some points. He has 1 goal this year. With the injury to Brent Carey, Klasnick is taken over. Here's McNeil. McNeil winds up, fakes a shot, a quick shot, and he had Shawn Reid on the doorstep. Reid couldn't reach it. Angelo Ritchie. He fakes a shot. Nice move by Angelo, and he couldn't quite control it. He goes into the boards. The puck is loose. Angelo trying to get loose. Paxton ties him up. Here's Reid with a puck. Shawn Reid has Remical with him. Reid with a long shot. And you can really make some offensive opportunities for yourself from center ice here. It's not, as Ron said, that far away. Puck sent down into the Tigers zone. We will talk about what this game means to Colorado College. All they have to do is win this game tonight, regardless of what Minnesota does. As Naylor looks at this opportunity, Naylor with a shot and a great save by Ryan Bach to stop the Tide, and the Pioneers moving over that line. And that's one thing, Ron, when you play in a small ice surface like this, when you hit the blue line, you're in scoring range. You really are. And Sean Kennedy and Shawn Ortiz and Chris Kennedy made a nice play at the blue line and got it wide to Mike Naylor. And Mike took a hard shot, a high shot. Ryan Bach stayed on his feet pretty well and was able to get his glove up and make the save. It is 1-0. Pioneers lead it on a goal at 2:29 by Mike Naylor, his 9th of the year, from Kelly Hollingshead and Chris Kennedy. So the Pioneers lead it 1-0. Here's Ian DeCorby from the point, sends it in behind the net. Here's Charlie Host, part of that 4th line that played very well for the Pioneers last night. We'll talk a little about this group as the game goes on. Mike Corbett back on defense. He played on that 4th line last night. Corby sends it behind the net. Here's Corbett. Corbett now moves up to left side as McLean is on the ice for the Pioneers. Puck comes loose to Charlie Host. He just backhands it into the zone. Corbett runs his man Paxton into the boards. Crowd gets a kick out of all of that, but the puck is loose at center ice. Sent in by Ian DeCorby. DeCorby is a senior defenseman on this team, one of the seniors on this team. Here's Kennedy with a shot. They score! Chris Kennedy took the pass and found the opening and beat Ryan Bach, and the Pioneers take a 2-0 lead. A great forechecking job done by Chris Kennedy and Shawn Ortiz again. That's the line that Coach Serratore wants out against Schmidt's line. And Shawn Ortiz turns it over on the end boards there, goes to Mike Naylor. He makes a quick pass to Chris Kennedy, and Kennedy gets it by Bach on the far side between his glove and his pad. The Pioneers certainly have shown a lot more jump here in the first 6 minutes of the period. 5:33 the time of the Pioneers goal. They've given just 1 assist on Kennedy's goal. That to Mike Naylor. We'll see if they add another one. But for Chris Kennedy, that is his 10th goal of the year. So the Pioneers have done what Ron said they must do, and that's get out early, but they have to be careful with passes like that. Here's Nelson. Nelson to Remical, or rather to Raynard. Raynard couldn't control it. Nelson dumps it back into the zone. In behind the net, far side. The puck takes a funny bounce off the boards. Here's Enga with it. Enga tries to get it loose. Raynard fighting there with Anderson. Now Enga up with it, tries to feed it through, and a nice defensive play there by Mark Luger to kick it away. And here's Enga with it again as the Pioneers having trouble getting out of their own zone. And finally, the puck is sent the length of the ice. That will be icing, but the pressure is off. Frank Serratore just beside himself after last night's game. We talked about the defensive play made by Eric Rude last night with 10 seconds to go around. The Pioneers had a 2-on-1. It looked like a layup, but then an amazing play by Eric Rude. It really was, Steve. I mean, he was out of the play. He was between the two DU players coming down on goal in the 2-on-1, but the pass tied him up. He threw a stick around behind him and it hit the end of his stick and went wide of Petri Gunther. There was no shot on goal. So from the face-off, a funny bounce. Here's a quick shot, hits the side of the net. Here's McNeil behind the net. Hollingshead couldn't control. Paradise up with it, puts it out in front. It's deflected loose, picked up by Klasnick. He couldn't control. McNeil with a shot, and saved by Mullen. Off the far boards, Klasnick tries to tip it by Paxton. Couldn't do it. Here's Mullen leaving it behind the net. Big hit there by Paradise. They center it. But the Pioneers intercept. Here's Elders. Elders all by himself on Reid with a quick shot. A good wrist shot, and Bach had to be sharp on that one. Here's Paxton. Knocked away by Angelo Ritchie. Ritchie's pass, nobody home. Here's Paradise. Paradise through the center to McNeil. He's the leading goal scorer on this team. Moving in on Mullen, but he's taken out of the play. Fans want a call, none is made. Here's the quick shot, Geronazzo. Puck is loose. Mullen trying to come up with it. He can't do it, but it comes loose to center ice. Here comes Angelo Ritchie. He winds up, fakes a shot. A quick shot by Elders over the top of the net. Puck is sent out to center ice. John McLean races back after it. He's being watched there by Schmidt, and the puck comes loose to center ice. Finally, Geronazzo sends it into the zone where John McLean picks it up. McLean to DeCorby, off the boards to Sean Ortiz. Ortiz pass intercepted by Ferns, and a nice play by McLean to knock it away. Here's Naylor. Naylor 2-on-1 over the line, a pass in front, and it couldn't get the stick on it as Chris Kennedy was there. Puck out in front again. Kennedy couldn't reach it. Here's Jaroszewski's pass to Schmidt. Schmidt, Colin Schmidt over the line with Geronazzo. Feeds it through to Geronazzo. His shot saved. Mullen kick to the corner. Here's Naylor. Naylor off the boards. He feeds it through to Chris Kennedy. He's all by himself. Kennedy fakes on Reid. Reid doesn't buy it. Knocks the puck into the corner. Here's Shawn Reid behind the net. Picked up by Schmidt. Out to Nelson at center ice. He couldn't control. Reid after it there. Gunther chases him down. Pioneers just dump it down into the Colorado College zone, where Bach leaves it for Shawn Reid. Here's Nelson. Nelson's pass goes awry. Gunther after it, sends it back to Mark Luger. Luger off the boards to Anderson. Anderson in his own zone, turning. Passes it through center to Laxinen. Laxinen leaves it for Gunther. Here's Gunther with a drive. That one deflects off Reid's stick over the top of the net. Anderson with it there. Looks for somebody to give it to, but he turns it over. And the puck is picked up by Raynard. Right side to Nelson. Here's Nelson, who moves by one man. Puck is loose. Mullen couldn't reach it. It's still loose, and Anderson picks it up. Here's Anderson. Left side to Laxinen. Laxinen winds up, fakes a shot, bumps it into the corner. Laxinen with it there. He is hit, run off the play by Paxton. They try to dig it loose. Finally, it is sent out to center ice. Here's Raynard. Raynard at center ice. Raynard moves into the zone. Makes a shot, quick shot, wide of the net. Puck comes to the far side. Paxton keeps it in. Mullen reflects it to the near side. Off the boards. Anderson hammers it down into the zone. Rude couldn't control it. And he goes back after it. Puck comes loose on the right side. Over the line is Christopherson, but we have an offside call. We have a timeout. 2-0. The Pioneers lead it. Jim Mullen playing very well here on Prime Sports Network.
Thousands have already been drawn to Biggs by our true minimum prices. But we'd like everyone at Biggs. So for 1 week, we're offering a fresh incentive no one will be able to resist. The Think Big clearance. A clearance so huge, only Biggs could have it. And prices so low, you won't want to let them get away. Think Biggs clearance. This week, it's even bigger than you think.
And tonight's game is brought to you in part by Circle K. Circle K, we're on our way. Well, we are on our way, if you're a Pioneer fan, to a very nice first period, Ron, as the Pioneers lead it by a score of 2-0. Look at the save right there.
Jimmy Mullen's been real sharp. He stayed on his feet. He's challenged the shooter when they've come in. He stayed up in that situation when the puck came in and got his leg across and was able to get it across again on the rebound.
Here's Christopherson putting it in behind the Pioneer net. Hollingshead there for it. Dumps it up along the near side. Here's Charlie Host. Host with a puck. He has Buzan with him on the line. Buzan couldn't reach it, but he was offside. And they whistle it down, and the faceoff will come outside of the Colorado College zone. We talked about this fourth line for the Pioneers, Ronnie. And I'll tell you, last night, Garrett Buzan, Charlie Host, and Mike Corbett playing very, very well. Charlie Host getting his first goal ever as a Pioneer.
They got him back in the game, 3-1 in the third period with about 10 minutes to go. They scored to make it 3-2, and it brought the Pioneers to life. And Coach Serratori tonight is showing a lot of confidence. They've been out on the ice three times here in the first 10 minutes. So everybody's been in the game, and everybody's jumping.
And we mentioned Mike Corbett, a defenseman playing up there, is on the right side. Paradise offside. So they will blow it dead, and we'll do it again. This is the final regular season game scheduled ever here at the Broadmoor World Arena, and so we have a lot of festivities going on.
The Tigers have come back too. They were really slow. I think maybe nerves a little bit, realization that if they win this game, they're the WCHA champs this year. They were a little slow getting out of the blocks, but they've had some opportunities, and they've been jumping here and creating some opportunities in the Pioneer zone.
Well, this is a team, Ron, that has come back from behind to tie or win in the third period 7 times this year. So this is a team that is never out of it. And as a matter of fact, they have had a lot of gut wrenchers like the one last night. Pioneers trying to control it. Here's DeCorby working hard. Puck is loose in front. Finally, it's cleared over to the side. After it, there is Remical. Here's Remical looking for a place to go. He turns at his own blue line, backhands it on the near side. Very close to too many men on the ice as McLean picks it up. Out to center to Ritchie, and Ritchie dumps it into the zone. Klasnick after it. Puck is hammered down into the Pioneer zone. We have a whistle and an icing call, 2-0. Denver Pioneers leading it here in the first period at the world-famous Broadmoor World Arena on Prime Sports Network.
Hi, I'm Dan Issel, and I have a message for all men over the age of 40. Have you been hearing a lot about prostate cancer lately and wishing there was a quick, easy way to find out if you're at risk? Well, now there is. Simply call the Urology Hotline at North Suburban Medical Center, formerly Humana Hospital Mountain View, to schedule a low-cost screening that involves a blood test and a physical examination of the prostate. That number is 450-3698. That's 450-3698. Do it today.
And welcome back to the World Arena. Steve Harms along with Ron Graham. There you see the score. The Pioneers getting goals from Naylor and Kennedy here in the first period. Jim Mullen has been tough in the net so far for Denver. Here's McMillan from the draw, and a shot comes to the side of the net, and an opportunity there for the Pioneers, but they couldn't get the stick on it as Sean Ortiz was right on the doorstep. Here comes Geronazzo. He had the winner last night. Back to Ferns. Ferns to Jaroszewski. His shot just wide of the net. Near side, here's Naylor, takes a hit, gets the puck out to center ice as Chris Kennedy, one of the more physical players on the team, couldn't quite control it. Here's Shawn Reid at center to Geronazzo. Geronazzo to Jaroszewski. Jaroszewski moving in on the side. Puck comes loose to Mullen. He holds on and forces the stoppage of play. I thought last night, Ron, Sinue Wallanaimo played for the most part, other than one soft goal through his legs, very, very well. And you always hate to see a kid lose a game like that in overtime, where he had at times stood on his head.
He really had played well. He made a great save with a couple minutes left in the period. Defenseman, I think it was Ken Ferns, walked down the middle of the zone and he jumped out on him and made a save. But it's disappointing. It certainly is when you play well and you end up with an opportunistic breakaway like that in the overtime that causes the loss.
So from the draw, the Pioneers just dump it out to center ice, and right now I guess they are in a posture where that might be advisable. The trouble is you really are going to get a lot of icing calls. This ice is a very short surface, so when you dump that, I guess that's the price you pay. You pay by having the faceoff back in your zone. But Colorado College is used to playing this area, Ron, and you know from the goaltender's standpoint they can really clog it up.
Yeah, they really can, Steve. And Pioneers have Eric Anderson out there to take the faceoff now. He's pretty strong on the faceoff, and they come up with the puck there to start the breakout.
But Rude keeps it in, dumps it into the corner. Here's Hollingshead. Hollingshead there for Travis Smith. Here's Smith out of his own zone. At center ice, Laxonen tries to put it by Rude. He couldn't do it. Here's Anderson getting a stick on it. And nobody can really get much of a bit of momentum going. Here is Enga on the right side. Takes the puck. It goes right to Mullen. And Jim Mullen, I guess, too, in this old barn, Ron, is doing the smart thing. He's not trying to keep the play going.
In that instance, he couldn't. It was coming to him. He had nowhere to go with it. That was a smart play on his part to get the face off. Both teams, or the Pioneers, needed a line change. It had been a minute or so since that first face-off. So.
That young man right there, Don Lucia, I'm sure has found his name, or they will find his name on a number of the all WCHA ballots for Coach of the Year.
Most definitely.
He, along with Doug Woog, and Doug Woog is often there, but I think Don Lucia is a real favorite to win it this year. Here's Reid. Shawn Reid dumps it off the boards into the Pioneers zone. Mullen leaves it there for McLean. Back to McLean on the near side. He and DeCorby are out there. The veteran defenseman. Here's Anderson moving around his man, but he wasn't able to control the puck. Here comes McNeil. Jay McNeil over the line. Leaves it for Reid. Reid moving into the slot. He scores! Favorite plays of the Colorado College Tigers, Ron, is to let their defensemen break toward the net.
They really jump into the play, Steve, and we talked about getting a change here, and the Pioneers didn't get a change, and Neil makes a great play. Shawn Reid jumps into the middle, gets the pass, he beats Jimmy Mullen low on the stick side. Great stop by McLean. He really pulled the defenseman. Shawn Reid jumps into the opening right down the slide, and he's got the goalie at his mercy, and he beats Jimmy Mullen to his stick side low.
Shawn Reid gets the goal, but the puck is back down now inside of the Colorado College zone. We will get the official stats on this for you. McNeil gets assist. Here's another opportunity. Geronazzo with a shot. Puck comes loose, and Geronazzo had the open net up top and put it too high. Here's Schmidt. Puts it on in front. Jason Elders comes after the loose puck. Elders being run into the corner by Jaroszewski. Here's Geronazzo trying to move out with it. He can't do it. Puck is centered out in front, but the Pioneers come up with it. Here's Luger. At center ice, Klasnick. Left side, Elders. Elders tried to put it through to Ritchie, but he couldn't do it, and here come the Tigers. Jaroszewski. Back to Geronazzo on the backhand. Mullen makes the save, and the puck comes loose, and the net is off the mooring. And all of a sudden, as you talk about that sixth player, momentum on the side of the Tigers. We'll take a timeout. 6:45 left to play first period. 2-1 Pioneers.
Got a Pepsi for me?
Another opportunity, Ron Graham, for the Tigers as they really had the momentum going. Geronazzo.
Jaroszewski makes a great play, dumps it back to Geronazzo. Jimmy Mullen, though, stays on his feet, makes a good save. Puck drops down, and it gets knocked behind the net, and Geronazzo goes into the goal to knock it off his mooring.
So the momentum on the side of the Tigers as they dump it back into the Pioneer zone. Mullen out of his net, sweeps it around the near boards. Charlie Host couldn't reach it. Shapika puts it back into the corner. Picked up there by the Pioneers as they try to clear it. It's along the boards. Needham puts it right in front to Mullen. He holds on and makes the save. And Mullen is under a lot of pressure right now as Reid scored his 5th goal of the year from McNeil and Paxton at 12:25 to cut the Pioneer lead to 2-1.
Puck gets dumped to the board, up the boards, and the CC player cut it off. And Jimmy gets dumped back to Jimmy Mullen, and he covers up and gets a face-off, which is a wise play. Get started again, win that draw, and get your breakout going. And CC has definitely, as you mentioned, Steve, gotten back into the game. They're jumping.
So from the draw, the puck is loose in the slot. And a penalty coming up as Christopherson is dumped by Travis Smith. So we will have our first power play opportunity of the night. This one will be in favor of Colorado College, who have come back to cut the lead to 2-1, and now Travis Smith gets the gate.
Christopherson makes a good effort here to try and come up with a puck in the slot area, and Travis Smith just kind of grabs a hold of him and ties him up, but I think they called it for hooking. He could have been holding, could have been hooking. Christopherson makes a great play coming across the slot, trying to come up with a puck there. And Travis didn't have much choice but to pull him down.
Well, from the draw, his Ferns, he takes a shot, and that hit the goalpost and bounced away. Puck is loose. McNeil goes after it. He can't control it. Colorado College converts on about 21% of their power play opportunities. The Pioneers kill off about 82% of the opposition extra man. Far side, Enga to Ferns. His drive knocked down nicely by Mark Luger and is taken out to center by Naylor. Here's Ferns back in his own zone, turning along the boards. Mark Luger is there. Luger sends it off the official, and it goes down into the Colorado College zone. Raynard with it. Raynard for McNeil. McNeil winds, and his shot goes wide. Puck Puck comes loose at center ice, or rather in the slot area. Here's Enga back to Ferns. Ferns drive, puck's deflected into the corner. After it, Rayner. Pioneers intercept. Here's Mike Naylor with it. Naylor finds the opening and sends it down the ice as the Pioneers looking for a change.
One of the keys we talked about was special teams for CC, Steve, and they need to get their power play cranked up to get themselves even back in this game.
Here's Rude at center ice. Rude looking for a place to go with it. Moves back in his own zone. Pioneers forechecking very nicely there. Mike Naylor playing a very good game tonight. A goal and an assist for the Pioneers. Finally, the puck is sent to Jaroszewski at center ice. He wheels and deals into the zone. He looks to get by Luger. Jaroszewski hit with a stick by Luger there. That was a pretty good check. It could have been a slash as the puck comes wide of the net. Dumped in front of the net is Geronazzo. In the corner is Reid, and what a save by Mullen. Reid had the wide open side of the net, and Mullen got the pad out there and made the save. What a save.
Tremendous save. Jimmy read the pass out of the corner, but here we're going to look at the first face-off, the start of the power play, and it goes off of a Naylor's stick, and Jimmy Mullen didn't see it. It hit the crossbar, and he came out to the corner. Here's Reid jumping to the opening here. Jimmy Mullen read it, got his pad down, made a good save, and no rebound, was able to cover it up and get the face-off.
Well, he did a terrific job. He has kept the Pioneers in this one in the last 7 or 8 minutes, as all of the action has been inside the DU zone.
It really has. CC is, they've woken up, so to speak.
From the draw, trying to control it is DeCorby. He couldn't do it. Here's Reid back at the point. Over to the far side. Rude with a shot, and Mullen is there and made the save. And that, Ron, as I talk about so often, a position save as much as anything else.
It really is. He followed the puck real well. The key to the play for CC is they're winning the faceoffs. They're getting the puck back. Reid fakes. He gets it wide to
Rude.
Yeah, Eric Rude. And Jimmy Mullen stays on his feet, moves across, and makes a good save.
So the face-off, as it has been so often in the past few minutes, inside of the Pioneers zone to the right of Jimmy Mullen. The Pioneers lead it 2-1. 4:35 left to play first period. And we are going to have a penalty, I believe, a tripping penalty against Schmidt, as he took down the Pioneer in the corner. I'm not sure if it was Kennedy or Anderson, but the Pioneers now, Ron, will have their first opportunity. We'll take a look at what happened.
John McLean got the faceoff. Eric Anderson won the faceoff and got the puck, and he turned to his backhand into the corner, and Schmidt took his feet out. I think it's a good call.
No wonder I didn't know if it was Kennedy or Anderson. It was McLean. All right, it is a tripping call to Schmidt at 15:30. So the Pioneers, with their first power play opportunity, they have converted 15.6% of their power play opportunities. And the penalty killing for Colorado College, about that of the Pioneers. They are able to kill off about 83%. So this would not appear to bode too well for the Pioneers.
Their power play, I think they've been happy with it in the last little while, Steve. They've gotten on track with it. They've scored some goals. The percentage being down the way it is early in the year, you're never going to get it back up, but they're happy with it.
Yeah, you're exactly right. The power play has been more effective in the last 7 or 8 games. They've done a job, but the stats obviously still appear that it is inept. But they've done a better job. Here's Laxinen. Laxinen trying to get by Enga. Picked up by DeCorby. He sends it in behind the net where Needham just sweeps it off the boards. Pioneers can't keep it in. Here is Laxinen at center ice. Almost loses it. Finally, it is picked up on the far side by Hollingshead, who sends it around the boards to the near side inside the Colorado College zone. Puck comes bouncing loose to Anderson. Anderson looking to center. He's tied up there by Needham. After it is Laxinen. Laxinen along the boards. Here's Anderson. Nobody in front of the net for the Pioneers. And finally, it's picked up there by Nelson, who sends it down the ice.
Well, they're trying to gain possession. You're trying to outnumber the opponent in the corner, come up with the puck, and just didn't happen there. CC outbattled DU and got the puck down out of the zone.
Here's Hollingshead. Hollingshead over the line, trying to move on Rude. Hollingshead along the near boards, puts it to the far side. Quick shot, loose in front. As Laxinen took the shot, nobody was able to reach it. Remickle up with it, clears it out to center ice. Adi Laxinen, nice move over the line, but he couldn't keep his feet. Puck comes loose by Remickle, and he sends it down the ice right on Mullen. Mullen sends it up along the right side. Nice play by Mullen to keep the play going, but the Pioneers can't control. Here's Nelson moving into the zone, and the backhand, he scores! A shorthanded goal for Colorado College.
sixth shorthanded goal that they scored. And Angelo Ritchie had the pass on his stick, and it just came off his stick. And Steve Nelson was able to knock it in, or pick up the loose puck and walk in, and on his backhand was able to get it underneath Jimmy Mullen.
Well, that is very deflating for the Pioneers.
It really is.
Who have watched their momentum go away as Nelson gets the goal unassisted at 17:07, a shorthanded goal.
Mullen played the shot real well. He stayed on his feet. He was out on his angle. It just went through his legs. He got his stick off the ice a little bit, and it went underneath him. But as we said earlier, the second half of the period, the Tigers have really come on strong. They've played hard, and they've gotten themselves back in the game.
Nelson's 14th goal of the year, and we are all tied at 2. The Pioneers still do have the power play for the next 11 seconds, but they really haven't been able to do anything with it. Here's McMillan behind his own net. On the left side rather, to Ritchie. He tries to outrace Shawn Reid for it. The puck deflected into the Colorado College bench. We will have a face-off as penalty time now. Just 1 second remaining on Colin Schmidt's penalty. And the Pioneers, I'm not sure, were able to get a shot on goal during the power play opportunity.
They did not, Steve. They had a little difficulty getting in the zone. They did have possession one time and made a cross pass in the goal mouth there, and weren't able to get a shot on goal. And in this rink with so little room in the neutral ice, you got to dump it in and go and get it. There's very little time to stick handle it into the zone.
We're all tied up at 2 apiece. The Pioneers took a 2-0 lead, but the Tigers have come back to tie it up. Here's Shawn Reid, right side to Geronazzo. Geronazzo on the backhand. Tries to move it through to Jaroszewski, but the Pioneers pick it up. Here's Jaroszewski, though, behind the net. Schmidt out in front. Puck is loose, picked up by Angelo Ritchie. Ritchie, watched by Jaroszewski, puts it into the near corner. Off the boards, it's still kept in by Schmidt. The play has been about 80% in the Pioneers zone in the final half of this period. Pioneers trying to get it out. Here's Luger. He couldn't control it. Dangerous pass there. And we are going to have a penalty, a hooking penalty against, I believe, Jaroszewski, as he pulled down Mark Luger. So the Pioneers, with 1:55 remaining in the period, will have the power play opportunity, which did not bode well for them the first time out.
First time out. Mark Luger was trying to lug it out of the zone. He had it on his stick on his backhand. And Jaroszewski just kind of dogged him, stayed on him, and pulled his feet out from underneath him. That's an old football play there. Keep your feet moving. Mark Luger did that, and was able to draw the penalty.
Hooking is the call, and that comes at 18:05. So the Pioneers, for the remainder of this period, unless they score, will have the extra man. They are tied at 2 apiece. Pioneers took a 2-0 lead, and Colorado College has come back to tie it up. Here's Paxton, sends it into the zone. Mullen leaves it there for Ian DeCorby. DeCorby is a dangerous man on the point during the power plays. Ian had a goal last night. We'll talk to him between periods of tonight's game. Off the boards, the Tigers send it the length of the ice as Paxton does the work. Mullen up along the right boards. Here comes Laxinen. Paradise falls down. Laxinen with a shot, but Paradise gets a stick on it. Puck comes back to the near point to DeCorby. Here's Ian off the boards, in behind the net to Gunther. Gunther trying to get it to Laxinen. Finally, Laxinen sends it over on the far side where Hollingshead puts it in behind the net. Here's Eric Anderson. He couldn't control it. Puck is picked up by the Tigers, and they send it the length of the ice as Remical was right on top of that one. Here's Ian DeCorby back in his own zone. 1:05 left in the power play. 57 seconds left in the period.
Possession is important in the power play, Steve. You got to get in the zone and get possession. The Pioneers haven't been able to do that.
And the puck is sent the length of the ice. Jim Mullen there, as he's being watched by Enga, sends it around the near side. And even when the power play has been in the Pioneers' favor, they've had trouble moving it in to the Colorado College zone. Here's Ian DeCorby. He's tied up by Enga. That puts Elders offside on the left side, and so the Pioneers having all kinds of trouble in this power play opportunity.
That's the case there, that Ian DeCorby just needs to move the puck. He's got a winger open. They'll gain the zone and gain possession of the puck in the zone. And if he moves it there with a 3-on-2, the D has got to back off. And he didn't move it. He got tied up and created an offside.
In a small rink like this, Ron, is it better to try to dump and chase even on the power play?
With no neutral ice, you got to send it in the corner, have a plan, send it in the corner, send 2 guys on it, and go get it.
A long lofted shot from Corbett, knocked down by Bach. Finally, the Tigers pick it up and send it the length of the ice again to Mullen. Mullen leaves it there for Corbett. Here's Mike Corbett turning in his own zone. He's got a big shot. He would love to use it, I'm sure, but his pass goes awry, and the Tigers send it back into the zone with about 14 seconds left in the period and 17 seconds left in the penalty time. Up on the left side, here's Angelo Ritchie. Ritchie gets by his man, and he's hauled down out of the play, no call. Finally, the puck is picked up and sent the length of the ice once again as the period comes to an end. And this one is all tied at 2 apiece. The Pioneers took a 2-0 lead. Found Colorado College come back and tie it at 2. We are at the Broadmoor World Arena. We're glad you're with us here on Prime Network. We will take a quick timeout. We'll come back with between period activities. Ron Grahame, Steve Harms with you from the Broadmoor on Prime Sports Network.
This is the sound of a smoke detector. It has saved thousands of lives. This is another alarm, an alert to a senseless intruder, one that kills hundreds of people in their homes each year, carbon monoxide.
Since carbon monoxide is colorless and odorless, you can't detect it.
The poisonous gas can leak from improperly maintained fuel-burning appliances like furnaces and room heaters, from a blocked chimney, or from a car or charcoal grill used in an attached garage.
As a first line of defense, consumers should have their home heating systems and all their appliances inspected by a professional each year to make sure they're operating properly. Second line of defense, we recommend that consumers purchase the new carbon monoxide detectors that meet this new UL standard.
Prime Sports Network, celebrating 5 years of great plays.
No one has money to burn, especially not today.
Right after it was a year, the defroster thing went on it.
The car was very good for the first 40 or 50,000 miles, and since then I've really had a lot of trouble.
That's where Consumer Reports comes in. It can save you hundreds or thousands of dollars on stereo systems, microwave ovens, or minivans. Hi, I'm Bob Knoll, head of auto testing for Consumer Reports, the magazine that works for you. We can show you how you could save $2,000 or more on car insurance, how you could save $3,000 next time you buy a new car.
It's one of the very few objective sources of information you can get.
Everybody needs an edge.
Call now for your trial issue of Consumer Reports. If you like it, you'll get 12 more issues, including the 1993 buying guide, all for just $22. Or write cancel on the bill, return it, and owe nothing. You'll also get the 1992 buying guide free with your paid subscription.
So call for your trial issue now.
Call 1-800-253-8665.
And welcome back to the Broadmoor World Arena with me, a senior defenseman, one of the top 5 scoring defensemen in the country, and a real catalyst. This young man with a big goal last night for the Pioneers. I thought, Ian DeCorby, last night when you scored the goal that tied things up, that might put you over the edge, but it wasn't to be. The team looked like it had gone into a little bit of a funk in the second period. When you tied things up, it looked like a new game.
Yeah, once we tied things up, the team had a new life, like you said, and we really thought we could get that next goal, and it ended up being tied. We went into overtime, and we had a couple of mistakes that cost us.
This for you is a time that you look at game by game. This is your season, your career in college coming to an end, and I would imagine when you're in that dressing room, you don't care about all these sophomores and freshmen and juniors. This is it for you.
It's my last year, and as a team, we're really hoping that we could put together. We're hoping we could put together a good year, that our seniors could go out with a bang. And it's been up and down, and we're coming together now when we're playing better hockey. And after we get done this last regular season game, hopefully we'll come out with a win, and we'll head into playoffs on a high.
I think one of the most frustrating things for people who watch the team, and certainly for the guys on the team, has been the ebb and flow, the up and down, if you will, that has no real explanation. As a senior, that must have driven you nuts this year.
Yeah, we've been searching and trying to find out what's causing those ups and downs, and it's not easy to put a finger on it. You know, one weekend it'll be one thing, and the next week it'll be another. But right now, like I say, we're kind of nailing it down, and things are coming together, and the team's looking a little better.
After last night's game, a real heartbreaker in front of another sellout at the DU Arena. Is it hard at all to get back up right 24 hours later, especially going back on the road?
Actually, for us, it is. CC is a good rivalry for us, and we're always up to play them. And coming back, being down 3-1, making it 3-3, and going into overtime, we know we can play with them. And we're really looking forward tonight to getting back and getting a win off of them in their own building.
And it's very important, obviously, to get some momentum because you're going to be on the road next week with the playoffs.
That's right. We want to get confidence playing on the road. We're not really a road team right now, but we won up in Alaska, and if we can win here, I think we'll have a lot of confidence going into whoever we play.
I know it has been disappointing for you as a team, but for you personally, this has been a terrific year. Your name on an awful lot of the all-conference ballots. Congratulations on so far what personally has been a terrific year.
Thank you.
Ian DeCorby will be back with more from the Broadmoor World Arena here on Prime Sports Network.
You can't see it, but it keeps your clothes warm and dry. You can't taste it, but it works great in the kitchen. You can't touch it, but it takes care of your dirty work. And you can't smell natural gas unless you've got a leak. So if you ever smell natural gas, get out of the house right away and call Public Service or the fire department from your neighbors. A friendly safety reminder from Public Service Company.
Being a fan is tough when your team isn't the home team, especially when I try to find coverage of my favorite team in the local paper. I'm lucky there's even a box score. Well, if you're like me, you'll be happy to know there's one publication that'll make you feel right at home. The Sporting News. You'll love the Sporting News no matter what team you love, even if it is the home team.
Call this number now and get 4 issues of the Sporting News free. You'll get opinions and strategies, transactions, trade rumors, injury reports, and the lowdown on the minors. Plus football, basketball, and hockey all year long. Call now and you'll get 4 free issues. If you like them, you'll get 24 more issues at this great TV price. If not, just mark the bill, cancel, and owe nothing. The 4 issues are yours to keep.
So call now for the Sporting News, the publication that treats every team like the home team.
Call now and get 4 great issues of the Sporting News free.
Call 1-800-253-8665 now.
PSN gets pumped for March Madness. We'll hoop it up with the Timberwolves, Nuggets, and Jazz, along with conference championships in the WAC, plus the women's championship in the Big 8. The madness continues with the Big 8 Wrestling Championship and the Big 8 Track and Field Championship. We'll hit the ice for the WCHA Hockey Championship and the Division I semifinals. And finally, hit the field with the St. Louis Cardinals. It's March Madness, and PSN is there.
World Arena, where our score is all tied up at 2 apiece after 1 period of play. I'm Steve Harms along with Ron Grahame, and we are glad you are with us. This is one of the games, Ron, going on around the league tonight. Very important. Colorado College needs a win, or at least they thought they needed a win going in. There's some things happening around the league that might make this a moot point tonight.
National Hockey Center in St. Cloud, Minnesota. After 2 periods, the Huskies are up on the Gophers 5-0. So that's a real big score for the Colorado College Tigers, because the loss for Minnesota and a win here gives them the WCHA championship outright.
Well, even a loss for Colorado College here, if Minnesota loses, would then give it to the Tigers. Here's some other the scores as you look around the league. North Dakota in the 2nd period leading Minnesota Duluth, and Wisconsin, who is still hoping for some sort of miracle to get up into 2nd place, leading at 4-0 on our North Suburban College Hockey scoreboard. So that is a look at what is happening. Of course, all of these games have something to do with the playoffs, and right now it looks like Colorado College is in the driver's seat.
They really are, Steve. They're in the driver's seat to get themselves a WCHA championship. The first seed in the playoff. It'll be their first championship since 1957. And I think they'd like to win it outright. I think they'd like to win this game tonight and have Minnesota lose and end up with 2 points ahead of Minnesota at the end of the season.
Yeah, obviously they want to take the momentum, and it's a big night here. And so while it's comforting to know the score, they want to win this game tonight.
They really do. You don't want to lose the last game of the season. You want to win that last game of the season. Takes you into the playoffs next week back here in the Broadmoor Arena. And they want to be strong going into the playoffs. They want to be the top team with a lot of momentum.
We've had a good first period. We hope you stay with us here on Prime Sports Network. There's a score. We'll be back.
Circle K and Prime Sports Network have teamed up to send Nuggets fans to all the Denver Nuggets home games. Register at your local Circle K store. Look for slam dunk savings on Hershey's king-size chocolate bars and king-size Reese's peanut butter cups. Fast break the Circle K for 2-calorie Quest, 16 and 32-ounce bottles. And finish the break with Oscar Mayer Lunchable and receive a free Capio iced coffee with purchase. No purchase necessary to win. Circle K, we're on our way.
Leslie Nielsen's Bad Golf Made Easier.
Billy, the reason the game is called golf is because all the other four-letter words have been taken.
It's the new home video that teaches you the fundamentals.
The only really useful tip in golf is the one you give to the starter.
And how to play the problem lie. Call now to order Leslie Nielsen's Bad Golf Made Easier.
Call now to order Leslie Nielsen's Bad Golf Made Easier. Only $19.98. Call 1-800-253-8665.
Prime Sports Network, celebrating 5 years of great plays.
Push it, pull it, or drag it into Sun West time, and you'll receive a minimum of $2,500 for your trade-in.
You'll give me $2,500 for this?
That's right, and we'll give you $2,500 for your trade-in. Like this 94 Accord, only $12,986 after trade, or $229 a month. Or this Civic Coupe, only $10,853 after trade, or a low $189 a month. So call us now at 597-4500, or better yet, come in today.
If you're the kind of person who'd rather tune an engine than eat, have we got a machine for you? And in the hands of the right mechanic, it'll blow the doors off anything. Aim High Air Force. The pride of serving your country. We can point you in the right direction. Aim High Air Force.
Hockey on Prime Sports Network is brought to you by McMillan Sayre. In McMillan, you can trust. Your Colorado Pontiac dealers. See the Colorado Pontiac Excitement Team today. And by RAF Financial. And welcome back to the Broadmoor World Arena. Steve Harms, Ron Graham. There is our score. Pioneers led it 2-0. Colorado College Tigers have come back. Let's take a look at our Milk scoring summary, brought to you by Milk. You're not a kid anymore. And the Pioneers, Ron, got on the board first. Mike Naylor's 9th goal of the year from Hollingshead at Kennedy at 2:29. Good work by Mike Naylor on this play.
Mike Naylor comes up, or Chris Kennedy comes up with a puck behind the goal, and he throws it out in front. It goes through Naylor's legs. Kelly Hollingshead comes in and gets it back to the goal, and Mike Naylor standing right there, and he pops it in behind Brian Bach.
That was the first Pioneer goal. They made it 2-0 on Chris Kennedy's 10th goal of the year. Naylor getting an assist on this one at 5:33.
Steve, was a bang-bang play at the blue line. No, I'm sorry, I got the wrong goal. Sean Ortiz goes in and takes Eric Rude along the boards. Naylor gets it out in front to Chris Kennedy, and Kennedy puts it behind Bach.
We talked an awful lot as the Pioneers led it 2-0, how they love to get their defensemen involved offensively in the play. And that is exactly what happened when Shawn Reid scored his 5th goal from McNeil and Paxton at 12:25 to cut the lead to 2-1.
Well, McNeil makes a great play. Pulls up at the blue line. John McLean jumps up. He isn't able to get him. Shawn Reid jumps down through the slot and beats Jimmy Mullen to his stick side low.
At that point, the momentum in this game totally shifted. All of the play down inside of the Pioneer zone, even when the Pioneers were on the power play, as Reid was in the penalty box, and all of a sudden they ended up with Nelson getting a shorthanded goal, his 14th of the year.
Well, the play starts deep in the zone, and McMillan makes a pass across to Angelo. Angelo loses it. Steve Nelson's coming off the bench and picks up the puck, and he's got momentum. He goes around McMillan and puts it through Jimmy Mullen's legs.
That tied it all up. There you look at some of the statistics as our Circle K statistics in the first period. Shots on goal. Colorado College, because of what happened mostly, Ron, in that second half of the first period, dominating it there.
Second 10 minutes of the period, they really came alive. DU started strong, which is the way they wanted to. They needed strong goaltending from Jim Mullen, which we talked about at the outset of the telecast, and certainly they got that. But the Tigers got back into it. They realized that the Pioneers had come here to play and that they needed to get themselves going, and they controlled the play in the Pioneers' end the second half of the first period.
So Ryan Bach in the nets for Colorado College, Jim Mullen for the Pioneers. We're tied at 2, and we basically have a 2-period hockey game. But as we mentioned, St. Cloud State leading Minnesota by a score of 5-0 early in that game, and all of a sudden that makes this game irrelevant, really, because the Pioneers, or the Tigers rather, have the tiebreaker as Frank Serratori looks on. Even if the Pioneers were to win tonight, if Minnesota loses, and that means Colorado College and the Gophers both lose, Colorado College would then back into the league championship.
Well, they'll get the nod for the first seed in the playoffs, but they'll share the championship with Minnesota. So what they would like to do, obviously, is they like to win tonight because Minnesota is losing, and they win the WCHA championship, the MacNaughton Cup outright.
So the Pioneers once again back in their own zone, trying to get it out up along the boards. Here's Laxinen. Both teams now at full and equal strength as Schmidt is run heavily into the boards, and the glass comes loose right below us. They will see that and whistle it down eventually. And I don't know that there will be a penalty, as Schmidt was run heavily into the boards by Anderson in front of our scorer's table below us, and the glass was taken out of the slot. So the big hit put on there by the Pioneers, and it's going to be a roughing penalty.
I think Greg Shepard across the ice, he saw the play. He was in neutral ice there, and he's called Eric Anderson for a rough.
Well, Anderson kind of rode Schmidt for about 10 or 15 feet into the boards, and that often will result in a boarding or a roughing penalty.
With his arm around his neck, and you know, that's a no-brainer. That's an easy call for the officials. They ought to be able to get that one right.
It's simply a headlock. As you see some shaken WCHA officials down there at the scorer's table, and you see Eric Anderson in the penalty box. That coming at 35 seconds of the first period, or second period, a roughing penalty to Anderson. So the power play now for Colorado College. They are 0 on the power play tonight, as Enga sends it into Raynard, back to Enga, over to Ferns, far side to McNeil. McNeil at the point, they're setting it up into the corner. It goes to Remical. Remical leaves it there for Raynard. Raynard in behind the net, looking for a place out in front. A save by Mullen off the shot by Remical. So Mullen once again getting himself in the right place. And if there isn't traffic in front of you, Ron, that's also a no-brainer for a goaltender.
Well, you got a chance then. No traffic. You can get out on your angle. You can take away that scoring opportunity and take away the places that shooter can shoot the puck by you. So here's Jimmy. He sees the pass out. He reads the CC player, jumps out on his angle, and is able to come up with a puck.
And from the draw, the puck controlled by Colorado College. Here's McNeil along the far boards to Ferns. Near side, he gets it for Enga. Enga had it on the backhand, had to just dump it into the corner where Remical picks it up. Pioneers trying to get control of it. It's along the boards. Enga fighting for it, comes back to Ferns. Ferns with a shot. That one was almost tipped in front by Luger. But the Pioneers come out. Here's Mike Naylor. He has Kennedy breaking, but Kennedy nicely taken out of the play by Enga. Enga turns in behind his own net, up on the left side to Ferns, back to Enga. Center ice is Enga, moves over the line into the zone. And as we said, when you're over the line here, you're not too far from the goal. The puck in the corner. Pioneers trying to dump it out. They couldn't do it. It hit Luger in the back. Here's Enga with a man all alone. McNeil on the far side. But the puck went on his backhand and he couldn't tee it up. Puck comes out in front. Tipped just wide by Raynard. Remical put it out there and Raynard couldn't put it toward the open net. Here's Raynard. He's got Remical in front again and no one there to watch him. And it comes back to the point and out to center ice.
Fine play, Steve, by Jimmy Mullen. He got his stick out on that pass out, wide open in front. And Jaroszewski was, and he was able to deflect the puck by him and then out of the zone.
And the puck comes off the CC player outside the blue line, hits the CC player inside the blue line, and we have a offsides call.
We'll get another look at the opportunity here. The tip across in front there by Ryan Renard. He goes back and gets the puck. He just tipped it wide at Jimmy Mullen. He had him at his mercy. And we've got the two power plays in contrast here, Steve. The Pioneers unable to win a face-off in the CC end and getting possession, and CC able to ice it. And the Tigers power play, they're able to come up with the puck and control it and make the passes and get the opportunities on goal. So you got to control that face-off just as DU did there, and they're able to get it down in the Tigers end.
Puck goes down inside now the Colorado College zone. Here's Reid with it. 16 seconds left on the power play, and a nice play by John McLean at center ice. Or Travis Smith make that as he sends it back into the zone. Here comes Rude out of his own zone. Eric Rude at center over the line. Tries to move by his man Geronazzo with the puck. Geronazzo had it poked off his stick. Schmidt trying to pick it up. Anderson back on the ice. The team's at full and equal strength. Here's a quick shot and a save by Mullen from Geronazzo. Geronazzo trying to get it to Jaroszewski. Geronazzo picks it up. He's got Reid back at the point. Reid wanted the puck. That one deflects off the stick and into the corner. Here's Reid with it. Schmidt picks it up. He puts it in front, and Geronazzo is tied up by Travis Smith. Smith runs Geronazzo into the boards. Puck comes loose along the near boards into the corner. Anderson trying to dig it loose. Geronazzo comes up with it, watched by Smith. Geronazzo still controls. Here's Jaroszewski back to Geronazzo. Geronazzo moving around, being whacked at by Anderson. Finally, the puck is tipped away by Laxinen. Here's Smith off the boards. He sends it out to center ice where Rude knocks it down. He gets it right back to Schmidt, who drifted over the line as he received that pass, and an offside call against Colorado College.
Geronazzo was a little late getting out of the zone because of the forechecking, and CC has certainly come out and stepped up the play. Because of the power play to start the period, they've had possession in the Pioneers' end, and similar to the second half of the first period, they're controlling the play in the Pioneers' end. They haven't gotten too many good scoring opportunities. Jimmy Mullen deflected that one pass. Bernard put the tip in wide, but Pioneers have got to get their legs. They got to make a couple plays and get it down in the CCN.
So the puck comes down into the Pioneer, and we've been saying that for a long, long time as the play is inside the DU zone. John McLean looking for a place to go, sends it out to center ice where Jason Elders is waiting for the man to break and had the puck knocked off his stick. Here's Ian DeCorby behind the net. Heard from Ian between the first and second period. What a year he has had, and it's been disappointing on a team perspective, but certainly personally it has been terrific for Ian DeCorby. In behind the net is Nelson. Nelson ridden out by Ritchie. Here's Paxton with it, sends it to Enga back on the left to point. Enga with a shot, and that one just bounces over Nelson's stick, out of the reach of Ritchie, who finally clears it into the zone.
The Tigers are just quicker to the puck, Steve. They're wanting the puck more all over the ice. They're coming up with it. They're moving the puck. They're jumping to openings. The Pioneers are a little flat-footed. They got to get going here.
Back after it, Pioneers wanted an icing call, and Ian DeCorby falls down, picked up there by Christopherson. Here's DeCorby off the boards, kept in by Paxton. His shot way wide of the net. Rebound over to the far side. Enga chases it down. Here's Enga with a man in front. Remical, and that one just deflects wide as I think McLean knocked it down, and it went dangerously by the open side of the net. Here's Remical in front. And you are right, they are after that puck as the Pioneers are struggling to get it out of the zone. Here's McLean with it. McLean just lofts it down the ice. It goes right to Ryan Bach. It will not be icing. The Pioneers changing up.
It'll be a shot on goal, but a long shot on goal.
You think this team, the Pioneers, here's Kennedy with a shot. That deflects high up into the crowd. Ron, do you think this team misses Brent Carey on this particular line?
They definitely do miss Brent Carey. He really creates a lot of openings. Here's a replay here. John McLean gets his hand on it. Jimmy Mullen had his eye on it. Would have got it with his blocker, but John knocks it down, and it just goes past everybody into the corner.
Well, you want the defenseman there clearing the zone, but you don't want them in the way. And, I mean, there's a couple of things very dangerous. One, you know, you've heard him call it the pelican or the ostrich or whatever, where the defensive man screens the shot and lifts his leg up, and the goaltender can't see it come.
Right, and a high shot like that for a goalie, the goalie wants you to leave it alone because he's going to leave it alone. Let it go wide. You turn and take the man.
Back in the CC zone, the puck comes loose. Here's Schmidt with it. Schmidt along the far side. He's got Jaroszewski on the left. He's got Reid moving. He leaves it for Reid. Reid with a shot. Save Mullen, and he holds on. Well, Jimmy Mullen has done the job tonight for the Pioneers. I don't think you can chalk any goals up on him in this one tonight, Ron.
Another fine save. Nice play by Steve Nelson. He drops it off to, again, Shawn Reid jumping up on the play, and Jimmy's out on the angle. He takes that angle away. Here's another look at it. Nelson drops it off. There's Reid jumping into the play again. He gets a quick shot off, but Jimmy doesn't give him anything to shoot at. He's out of the top of the crease, cuts that angle down, and Reid wisely gets into the net, so the goaltender has to make the save. But
here's Christopherson with a quick shot. That deflects high up into the air, knocked down by Nelson. Nelson pushes it into the corner. He's watched there by Mark Luger. After it, Enga back to Nelson. Nelson trying to turn, no one in front of the net. Luger tied Nelson up, and once again, this time Luger chases Nelson all the way to the far side. Back to the point. Rude dumps it into the corner. Here's Enga with it. Enga for Colorado College to Paxton. He has it on the backhand. Oh, and a nice save, a quick save, and another one by Mullen as he got the right pad and then the gloved hand on 2 opportunities from Colorado College. The big one by Paxton, the defenseman.
Paxton picks up the rebound. He makes a great jumps into the zone. He dumps the puck towards the goal. Deep, Luger is taking the man in front. Jimmy Mullen makes a save, gets up right away, but V's again and is able to come up with it in his glove. As we mentioned earlier, Steve, the CC defensemen, they really get into the play. They jump into the zone. There's Paxton again, dumping it in front, and that's Nelson again. Nelson's had a strong game. Makes a great play and fights off Mark Luger, gets the puck to Jimmy Mullen. The rebound comes out. Paxton gets another shot, but Mullen's able to smother.
Here's a shot by Ferns, and that one is kicked into the corner by Jimmy Mullen.
Another lost face-off.
Here's Jaroszewski with it. Jaroszewski looking for Needham. Needham was breaking toward the net. We talk about all of the defensemen, and Ron has mentioned a number of times the way they get into play. Out in front, here's Geronazzo, and a nice play by the Pioneers. Hollingshead to knock that one away as Geronazzo was point blank. Here's Schmidt trying to center it. He can't do it. Geronazzo was knocked down by Anderson. Crowd wanted a penalty. A big hit on Gunther by Schmidt. And again, the play constantly inside of the Pioneer zone. Here's Needham. He couldn't control. Puck comes loose, and now the Pioneers with a breakout. 3-on-2. Far side, here's Gunther. Gunther to Laxonen. His drive. Rebound. Laxonen on. He couldn't tee it up. Laxonen had the open net, and he couldn't tee it up. Here come the Tigers. Here's Ferns over the line into the zone. Ferns looking for a place to go, and a nice play by Travis Smith to knock it down and send it the length of the ice. We got a penalty. We've got a timeout. We've got a heck of a hockey game here on Prime Sports Network.
Hi, I'm Dan Issel, and I have a message for all men over the age of 40. Have you been hearing a lot about prostate cancer lately and wishing there was a quick, easy way to find out if you're at risk? Well, now there is. Simply call the Urology Hotline at North Suburban Medical Center, formerly Humana Hospital Mountain View, to schedule a low-cost screening that involves a blood test and a physical examination of the prostate. That number is 450-3698. That's 450-3698. Do it today.
2 minutes, interference.
Here's the Pioneers 3-on-2. Petri Gunther coming in the zone. Antti Laxonen tees it up. Gets a good shot on goal. Bach makes a save. He tries to walk across and hit that open side, and it handcuffs him. The puck handcuffs him, goes off the heel of his stick.
Here's Colorado College coming the other way, and this is the penalty, Ron.
John McLean getting back a little late. He takes Jaroszewski, but he takes him into the goal post, and it's an interference call. And
6:42 running the time of the penalty to John McLean. So another power play try now for Colorado College. We had no power play goals in this game, although Colorado College did come through. Their second goal of the night was a shorthanded goal by Steve Nelson in the first period.
Well, the Pioneers are struggling. Nobody wants the puck. That's basically what it boils down to. It gets on your stick and you kind of throw it to an open spot, and really it's shots on goal here in the second period, 7-2. And one of the Pioneers' shots was that long shot that John McLean dumped on a goal. So they really haven't generated anything offensively. The Tigers are really taking the play to, and one of the keys we talked to about at the beginning of the game was Jimmy Mullen, and he's certainly stepped forward.
Here's R.J. Enga with it. He had it knocked away, and a break for Kennedy. Enga chases him down and takes it away. Nice play by Enga, who is one of the better skaters in the league. But Chris Kennedy with a good play to break it up, and now he sends it back into his own zone. To Corby on the near side. Corby just feeds it the length of the ice. Chris Kennedy, one of the hardest working players on this team. He will not rank up atop with talent, but he certainly ranks up on top with a work ethic. Here's
really
McNeil.
McNeil, physical player. He kills penalties for you, and there he did a good job. He got the puck along in front of the CC bench and was able to ice it.
I think he had a hat trick this year, Ronnie, and he had a shorthanded goal, a power play goal, and an equal strength goal, and he plays, in all of the special teams.
All the time.
Here's Ferns. He just dumps it in right on Mullen. Mullen might be smart. Well, he tried to dump it out. I was going to say he might be smart to just send it the length of the ice himself. That pass went too far for Chris Kennedy, as we have 1 minute now remaining in the power play time for Colorado College. Here's a pass off the right side for Jaroszewski. Luger picks it up, finds the opening, and he sends it into the Colorado College bench. Would have been happier, I'm sure, had it gone off the boards, because that brings the face-off back inside of the Pioneer zone.
Hit McNeil right in the side as he was changing after the power play shift. And unfortunately for the Pioneers, it comes back into their zone and face off deep. And this is what the Pioneers have done well, or the Tigers actually, in that first power play early in the second period, is win that face-off, gain control of the puck, move the puck around, basically play keep away. They haven't had too many good scoring chances, but they've kept the puck in the Pioneer zone, and eventually that's going to hurt you.
55 seconds left now in McLean's penalty as the Pioneers send it along the near boards. Gunther picks it up, or rather Ortiz picks it up and sends it down the ice.
They won the face-off, Steve, so there's the key for the Pioneers. They win that face-off, they're able to get it out of the zone.
Sound like a coach. Oh, you were.
Somewhere.
Yeah. Here's Reid as he dumps it into the zone, and behind the net is Mullen. Mullen just picks it up and sends it down the ice now. In the National Hockey League, that would be a delay of game penalty. In college hockey, you get away with it.
And it used to be in college hockey. You know, they had to hit a player, had to hit the glass and go out. But Jim Mullen was able to, he got a piece of it and he fired it.
Yeah, and there is a good reason why when you're at a game, keep your eye, and I don't mean this in any pun intended, on the puck, as that gentleman was hit by that clearing pass from Jim Mullen.
Yeah, you got to pay attention. He's hurting too.
Yeah. You know what? He is a long time. I think every time I have ever been to the Broadmoor Arena, that gentleman has been here. Recognize him very well.
Glasses, it looked like. That's too bad.
Here's Jaroszewski along the far boards, and he puts it into the corner. Pioneers trying to control it. Travis Smith. Smith couldn't do it. Here's Jaroszewski. Jaroszewski being watched by Smith and Anderson. Into the corner. Here's Schmidt with it. Picked up there by Travis Smith, who sends it down the ice, and a lot of puck-shy fans over there on that side of the arena right now took cover when Smith put it off the boards. 3 seconds left now in the power play time. Here's DeCorby in his own zone off the boards. Picked up there by Ritchie. He puts it through to Anderson. Anderson moving in front. He scores! What a beautiful shot from Eric Anderson as he took the pass from Angelo Ritchie.
Great play by Eric Anderson as he out reaches Rude to the puck, and he comes in and throws it over Bach's shoulder there. Eric came off the bench after the penalty. He replaced the penalized player, John McLean, and Angelo Ritchie tips it by Shawn Reid there. Eric Anderson comes in, uses his body to protect the puck. A big slash from Eric Rude. He could have got a penalty there. The officials chose to ignore it, but Eric Anderson throws it over top of Brian Bach's glove hand in the top corner.
Well, Angelo Ritchie and Ian DeCorby get the assist on Eric Anderson's 8th goal of the year, an equal strength goal, and that one coming at 8:48. So the Pioneers, after giving up, as they say, territorial advantage to Colorado College for almost a full period between the second half of the first period and now midway through this period, Ron, have come back opportunistic and scored a big goal.
They really have.
Pioneers intercept again. Ritchie on the backhand, didn't get much on it. The puck is sent along the boards. Here's Christopherson, kept in by DeCorby. Here's Angelo with a shot. Nice save, Bach, and he holds on. Pioneers lead it 3-2 from the Broadmoor World Arena. We'll take a quick timeout and come back and continue with all this excitement on Prime.
The champion Phillies are out for some exhibition action. But watch out, boys, because the Cards are ready for business. Step up to the plate for plenty of swinging, slamming Cardinal excitement. The Phillies take on the Cardinals Friday at noon, live on PSN.
Hey, we're glad you're with us. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Circle K. Circle K, we are on our way. Well, this has been a strange turn of events. The Pioneers have taken a 3-2 lead after leading 2-0, 2-1. Tied it up at 2 apiece, and the Pioneers now in the middle of the second period have taken a 3-2 lead on Eric Anderson's 8th goal of the year. Here's Shawn Reid in behind his own zone, in his own net, in his own zone. Puck comes loose out to center ice. Pioneers turn it back into the zone. Here's Corbett with it. Mike Corbett, as that fourth line is out now, and Corbett lets one go on Bach. Corbett keeps it in. Corbett just puts it back toward the net. Charlie Host after it. Host had his goal last night, his first goal as a Pioneer. A big one that got the Pioneers back into the game. And finally, the Colorado College Tigers just send it over the boards and into the ice, or into the crowd. Want to remind you to tune in Tuesday night for live NBA on Prime Sports Network. Your Denver Nuggets are on the road to challenge the Shack of the Orlando Magic. Live coverage beginning at 6:30 Central, 5:30 Mountain, right here on Prime. Don't miss it.
Well, that goal has kind of lit the Pioneers up here. Here's Shawn Reid getting the puck, and that fourth line, there's a great forecheck there by Garrett Buzan there, takes Shawn Reid into the boards.
Here's Hollingshead with a drive, and it's knocked down at the defense, where maybe Bach may have gotten a piece of that one. Puck is sent back into the zone, a delayed offside, and back after it there is Paxton. Paxton for Colorado College into the corner after a Geronazzo. He's chased by Anderson. Puck is along the boards. Eric Anderson picks it up. Anderson with the go-ahead goal moments ago, couldn't control it, picked up by Rude. Rude puts it ahead to Geronazzo. Geronazzo to Jaroszewski to Schmidt. Schmidt at center ice. He moves over the line into the zone looking for someone to break. He has Jaroszewski with him. Schmidt with it. Jaroszewski took the shot way wide of the net. Into the corner. Here's Travis Smith. Smith hit by Schmidt heavily into the boards. As the scrummel in the corner, they're trying to get it out. These very deep corners here, Ron Graham, and you know, there's some funny things about this rink. It is smaller in size, but the distance between the net and the boards behind the net, there's a lot of room to play back there. Wayne Gretzky would love it back there.
He certainly would. NCAA hockey, the maximum, or what they recommend, is 15 feet, and in the Broadmoor they have 15 feet. You've got to have at least 12 feet from the goal line to the boards, and in the Broadmoor here they've got 15, so there's a lot of room. The corners are a little square. It's tough on the D's. You've got a lot of room for that forward to maneuver around you, and not a lot of boards to pin him against.
Face off to the left of Jimmy Mullen. He has been terrific in the nets tonight for the Pioneers, as was Sinue Walanaimo last night, even in defeat. Other than one maybe little soft goal, he was terrific. Here's Christofferson. Christofferson's pass intercepted by Elders off the boards down the ice. Needham back after it, chased by Dave Klasnick. Picked up here by Ferns. Here's Ferns out of his own zone at center ice. He's got a break. Ferns winds up his shot over the top of the net. That one goes along the top of the dasher boards and comes out to center ice, where Christofferson picks it up. Christofferson to Needham. Needham sends it ahead to Shapitka. Taken away there by Jason Elders. He tries to put it off the boards, can't get it out, but Angelo Ritchie does, at least enough to make Colorado College come onside. In behind his own net, Jim Mullen leaves it there. Here come the Pioneers, John McLean. His pass for Ritchie. He was trying to deflect it to Elders, but they haven't been able to make that click tonight. Not a lot of room to do that at the Broadmoor, the center ice area.
Not in the neutral ice, no.
Here's Klasnick. Klasnick off the boards, along the boards now, as the play very ragged with 8:17 remaining here in the second period. Raynard over to the far side to Paxson. He just dumps it out of harm's way as Chris Kennedy was barreling in on him. Kennedy had to clear the zone. Here's Raynard now at center. Ooh, and he tried to pass it through as he had Nelson breaking. Chris Kennedy broke it up. In behind the zone now, picked up there by the Pioneers, Luger. Into the far corner. Pass too far from Mike Naylor, as Sean Ortiz wasn't able to connect with Naylor. Naylor and Ortiz a buzzsaw early in the first period. Haven't heard much from them since then. Naylor has a goal and an assist tonight. Here's Ortiz. Dumps it into the zone. Bach out of his net. Stops it there. Leaves it for Needham. Needham run off the play. Here's Ortiz out in front to Kennedy. Kennedy couldn't get the backhander off. And here comes the Tigers. Raynard with it. Raynard's pass on the left side intended for Enga. Luger stood him up. Puck comes loose to Kennedy. Kennedy can't get it out. Needham keeps it in along the boards. Puck goes into the corner now as Needham and Kennedy do some jostling. In the corner, Paradise and Luger. Luger kicks it up along the boards. Here's Chris Kennedy. Kennedy couldn't control it as Remical took it away from him. And we finally have a whistle and a stoppage of play with 7:03 remaining. University of Denver behind the play of that man. Jimmy Mullen leads it 3-2. We're glad you're with us on Prime Network tonight. We'll be back.
He likes milk and show. He's got great muscle tone. He likes milk and show. And strong, healthy bones. She likes milk and show. Baby, soft skin, bright eyes, a healthy grin. She likes milk and show. Milk, it does her body good with vitamin A to help keep eyes bright. Calcium calcium for healthy teeth and protein to help build muscle. When you drink milk, it shows. Milk and it shows. It does a body good. Milk and it shows. It does a body.
There you see the score and the time remaining in the second period. I'm Steve Harms along with my partner Ron Graham as we're bringing this one to you from the Broadmoor World Arena, one of the last few events ever to be held in this old barn that's been here for a long, long time. Inside of the Pioneer zone, the puck comes loose. Travis Smith was rubbed out of the play. Laxton couldn't get it out, kept in by McNeil. McNeil couldn't control it. Here's Travis Smith turning away from McNeil. Hollingshead with it, sends it ahead to Laxton, and as the players collide, Remical and Hollingshead, once again, we lose the glass.
Well, we didn't lose it this time, Steve. We blew it up. It's gone. And it looks like Chad Remical there, he's got glass fragments probably down inside his jersey. He's probably going to be better off to go to the dressing room and take everything off and make sure that he doesn't have any glass on top of him.
Well, there you see the damage in the corner as the glass, depending on what kind they have here, there's a number of different brands, might be Herculite or whatever it is, shattered on the hit. Here it is. You watch it. You listen to it. This is what happened. Boy, there, you saw it explode. I've not seen that happen for a long, long time. Boy, look at that.
My goodness, and the sound effects too.
Yes.
And you know, it wasn't the two players going into it. It was Remical just missing Hollingshead, and he hit it right, just right. Here it is. Hey, that's that PSN crack crew over there with a microphone.
Yeah, cracked crew, I think it is. Anyway, that's what it would have sounded like had you really heard it. But they're cleaning it all up, and this will be some delay there as you see some of the former Tiger players. There are, I don't remember, Ron, what the number they said were here on hand tonight, but over 100, I think, former Colorado College players, figure skaters, people who have meant so much to the history and the tradition of this old barn. It was once a horse stable.
Well, what they tried to do, Steve, is get 55 years of hockey, get a representative from every year, and I think they were able to do it.
We will take a timeout while they do some housekeeping here at the Broadmoor World Arena. 3-2, Pioneers lead Colorado College.
Circle K and Prime Sports Network have teamed up to send Nuggets fans to all the Denver Nuggets home games. Register at your local Circle K store. Look for slam dunk savings on Hershey's king-size chocolate bars and king-size Reese's peanut butter cups. Fast break to Circle K for 2-calorie Quest, 16 32-ounce bottles. And finish the break with Oscar Mayer Lunchable and receive a free Capio iced coffee with purchase. No purchase necessary to win. Circle K, we're on our way.
Well, the Crack World Arena crew has a new pane of glass that was shattered with 6:38 remaining to play in this second period. And this was the kind of thing that directors and producers love to show us. And here it is, and listen to it. There is a microphone right there, and there you see Remical looking over, and now watch him shaking the glass out of his helmet. Those are not brains. Those are pieces of the Herculite or whatever kind of glass we have here. But finally, Ron, it is cleaned up, and that young man, Don Lucia, probably doesn't see a lot of humor in all of this.
No, it's a nervous time for coaches, or a long time for coaches. You sit there and you're thinking about the game, and you're thinking of your next move, and all of a sudden you got a 10-minute break. But the staff here at the Broadmoor Arena did a good job. I mean, they were out there real quick. They got it swept up. They got an alternate piece of glass cut or retrieved.
I'm surprised with tearing this place down. They have very many alternates. We've had to put 3 in tonight.
That's right. That's right.
Well, we are back to action. We have 6:35 remaining to play here in the period. The Pioneers have taken a 3-2 lead, in case we neglected to tell you, on Eric Anderson's goal at 8:48 of this second period. Angelo Ricci and Ian McCorby getting the assists. The Pioneers had taken early on a 1 and 2-0 lead as a haggard Frank Serratori just trying to get through this one, because the rest of his show this year is going to be on the road.
Well, the Pioneers struggled to start the second period. They were really hanging by a thread. Jimmy Mullen made us a couple of real good saves, a couple of great saves, and they were opportunistic. There's a score in the third period in the WCHA. Big change from the end of the second. It's now 6-4 for St. Cloud. The Huskies in Minnesota against the Gophers of Minnesota. So the big change. It's not as wide open score as it was earlier.
Well, we talk about consistency here. We'll talk about what's happening here as Naylor moves in. The shot, oh, and a save by Bach as he holds on. As that puck was trickling toward the goal line, Ron, and he got the gloved hand on it and put it away. A nice move by Mike Naylor to get in on the goal.
Was Ian DeCorby got upended really hard by Paradise. He goes over top of Paradise there. Mike Naylor picks up the puck and walks through neutral ice. Goes around Shawn Reid, gets it to Bach. Bach gets his stick on it. It trickles through his leg, and he's able to cover up with his glove.
Well, the Pioneers.
Here's Ian DeCorby, dumps it to the middle, and Paradise just levels him. Takes his feet out from underneath him. Naylor tips it just a little too far. Couldn't get possession. The diving defenseman was able to take the puck off his stick, and Kennedy was there for the rebound, but Bach was able to cover.
Back to the point is Ian DeCorby, who didn't show any effects of taking that hit moments ago. Puck goes into the far corner. Paradise couldn't control it. Picked up by Anderson. Back to the point. McLean with a shot. A rebound in front. Here's Laxton with a drive, and that one deflects loose. Chuck in the crease, and finally they cover it up. Oh, man, I tell you, that went every which way but loose and every which way but into the net.
Brian Bach couldn't find it. It popped up, and it came down into the crease, and he went down, and he was able to cover it up. But I think the key to the Pioneers is Eric Anderson, and he wins that face-off. Here's the puck dumped to the point. Bach makes the save. It goes out in the slot. Andy Laxton gets it. It hits a defenseman's stick, and it pops up. Nobody can find it. It drops right down to Anderson. He takes the shot. It hits Eric Rude, and then it finally ends up underneath Ryan Bach.
So from the face-off inside of the Colorado College zone, puck comes loose to Laxton. He's knocked out by Reid. No call. Here's Shawn Reid with the puck. Reid up on the left side, too far for Jaroszewski. Here's Mark Luger off the boards out to center ice. Picked up there by Gunther, couldn't control it. Schmidt with it, gets loose at center. Geronazzo couldn't control. Finally Gunther with it. He feeds it through to Laxton. Back to McMillan, and the Pioneers are going the wrong way. Here's Luger being watched by Geronazzo. McMillan up along the right side to Luger. Luger with a nice feather pass through to Anderson. He winds up with a quick shot and an easy save by Bach. Quick shot, score! And the rebound, Eddie Laxton. They got a little soft there after the first save, Ron, and really didn't give Bach much support.
That was a big rebound. Eric Anderson came in. He had nowhere to go with it, so he tees it up and takes the shot. Bach gives up the rebound way out. No D could come to it. Laxton jumps into the spot, and he puts it by Ryan Bach on his stick side. There's Anderson taking the shot. The D just can't come up with it because Eric Anderson goes in and kind of ties the D up, and then Laxton jumps in and gets that rebound. He ties up the defenseman on the play there. It was David Tucker, I think, was on the ice in there.
So the play comes now back into the Pioneers zone. Eddie Laxton's 11th goal of the year from Anderson and Luger at 14:44. Here are the Tigers with a long shot from Needham, knocked down by Reynard. Here's Klasnick. He leaves it there for Ritchie. Ritchie had it taken off his stick. Puck comes loose. Pioneers trying to get it to center. They do. Finally backhanded down the ice. That will go far enough for icing. And the faceoff will come back inside of the DU zone with 4:48 remaining to play. Here in the second period, the Pioneers have gone up by 2 again as Frank Serratori talking to Dave Klasnick. We mentioned that Dave Klasnick has been placed in a very tough position for a young player. Ron.
Well, he really has, Steve. He's been asked to go out on the wrecking crew line with Angelo Ritchie and Jason Elders, and he knows how the Pioneers play as far as what they want to do on a forecheck in their defensive zone breakout, but he never gets too many opportunities on the fourth line to really play in a game situation. Now Frank is giving him a little bit of extra coaching and talking to him about his positioning and where he wants them to go on the faceoffs.
And you got to have some speed to play on that line. Here's Shawn Reid with a shot. Nice save. Mullen. Rebound comes loose. It's kicked over to the near side. Here's Ferns with a drive, tipped away by DeCorby. Here's Ritchie in the corner. He couldn't control it. McNeil had it knocked away. Pioneers trying to get it out. Elders and Reid bounce after it. Here's McLean taken out of the play. Pioneers trying to come out of their own zone as once again the glass that has been replaced has been knocked loose over in the corner It is not shatter, but it was knocked loose. And we have another delay here as they try to put that one back in.
Now they got to slide it back into the supports, and look, as you mentioned, after the glass was broken, somebody was over there pretty quickly with a tape measure, and maybe they measured it a little short, and it's not going to stay in the supports as well as it should.
Well, and there's also some light insulation or some padding that goes in there, and if that's not real tight, it will come out. The arena here supposedly going to close in a few weeks, but it is starting to fall apart right now as you see what happened moments ago. 4:23 remaining, and once again the staff there, and yeah, that looks real sturdy.
It's better stand there and hold it, fellas.
Yeah, really. Well, we are back to action. 4:20 remaining to play here in the period, and hopefully between periods they'll get all of this straightened out. Here's Chris Kennedy with the puck in his skates off the boards down into the Colorado College zone. Hartnell back after it. Haven't seen much of him tonight. He was given a rude how do you do. As Chris Kennedy couldn't pick up the loose puck, it comes to McMillan at center ice, near side to Luger. Here's Luger with a long drive. Bach makes a save. Rebound comes out. Naylor couldn't reach it. Paxton comes out of his own zone.
Bach has given up several long rebounds, Steve.
On the left side to Christopherson. Pioneers dump it out to center ice as Mark Luger broke it all up. And now all of a sudden the momentum seems to be in favor of the Pioneers. Christopherson couldn't control the puck. Here's Luger, takes a hit, and once again that glass comes out right below us in the timers table. So I'm not sure if this is just the curse of closing the arena or what, but they are going to replace that glass and continue on in what has been a long second period, but a fruitful one for the Pioneers. They have scored 2 unanswered goals to take a 4-2 lead over Colorado College. As we mentioned, St. Cloud State in the third period leading Minnesota by a score of 6-4. Ron, that means a lot for Colorado College in terms of league championship, but not necessarily in terms of seeding.
No, it doesn't. They both end up tied. They're number one. But as we mentioned earlier, they would like to win it outright, I'm sure.
Long shot by Hollingshead wide of the net. Travis Smith keeps it in behind the net. Pioneers can't control. Here's Needham with the puck. Needham off the far boards. Geronazzo just sends it to the near side where Hollingshead has it. He's ridden out of the play by Jarashevsky, but not until he dumps it into the zone. Here come the Tigers. Ferns out of his own zone, kicked away from him, but he gets control of it and puts it to center ice. On the near side, Kelly Hollingshead. Nice pass to Anderson. 2-on-1. Anderson, left side, quick shot. No, they couldn't get it through as Laxonen had an opportunity to get it back to Anderson, but they couldn't do it. Here's Jarashevsky through to Schmidt. Schmidt in front. Oh, it's tipped wide by Ferns. A wide open net from Ferns, and he couldn't put it away. Here's Reid at the far side. His long shot. They score!
There's a case, Steve, of a defenseman really not having anything set up other than a screen in front of the goalie. He gets possession and he just dumps it to the net. Jimmy Mullen doesn't see it. He's screened in front by Geronazzo and Kelly Hollingshead. He can't find the puck, and it goes by his glove side on the short side into the goal.
I'm not sure if Geronazzo got a piece of that or not. It looked like he may have.
He may have. He may have got a piece. We'll have to see what the referees rule on it. But even if he did get a piece of it, Jimmy Mullen did not see the initial shot.
Now Reid gets credit for the goal, and the Tigers have cut the Pioneers' lead now to 4-3 with 2:38 left to play in the period, and the Pioneers need to do everything they can to get out of this period with no more damage.
That's exactly right. You got to shut down the Tigers if they can here, get it out of the zone, get possession, hang on to the puck, dump it in.
Pioneers moving down the zone, right through, intended for Klasnick as Elders try to get it through there. The Pioneers trying to move out, but here's Remical back. Remical has a man breaking his shot way wide of the net, and that goes the length of the ice. It will not be an icing call. It came off the stick of a Colorado College Tiger. Shawn Reid gets credit for the goal. We will find out if there were assists on the play. Reid gets the goal at 17-12, and all of a sudden now that 2-goal cushion, as the Pioneers had it for a while, has been cut to 1. But Shawn Reid gets the goal for Colorado College on a long shot. If Geronazzo did not touch it, he certainly is the reason the puck got by Jim Mullen.
He's part of the reason, Steve. Certainly Kelly Hollingshead and he were tied up in front of the net, and Mullen just couldn't find it. But it's a good play by Reid, realizing that there is a screen in front of the goal. Instead of trying to overpower him or blow it by him, get it to the goal, and something good might happen. And in this case, something good did happen. There was a goal scored.
Shawn Reid, as you saw, second goal of the night, his 6th on the season, and this is quite a way for him to close out his regular season career here at the Broadmoor World Arena. He's been around for a long time. Some players seem to last forever. He's been here for 4 years. Puck bouncing around inside the Colorado College zone, picked up by Paxton. Paxton out to center ice. He's picked up there by McMillan. Sent back into the zone. It is far enough for icing, as the officials were a little unclear about where that puck came from, and they finally whistled it down on the icing call with 1:44 left to play here in period number 2. Well, Andy Laxonen had an opportunity earlier tonight, all alone at the side of the net, but was not able to tee the puck up. Got it kind of on the heel of his stick. Not able to put it away, but that line has played quite well tonight. Eric Anderson has a goal and has done a good job.
He's real strong on the faceoffs. I think he's the key to the Pioneers team.
Well, here's Geronazzo, who was the key last night. Quick shot by Jaroszewski. Rebound, another save. Mullen has made about 3 saves. 4. Finally holds it as Schmidt and Luger do some jousting. And all of a sudden, Jimmy Mullen coming up very, very big. 3 big saves there, Steve. He just hung with it. He hung with it. He was down. The puck goes off his pad, and it keeps going back out to the CC player, Schmidt. And he makes a save right there. And there's Jaroszewski battling. Jimmy gets it with his glove. Put back at him by Schmidt. Comes out to Schmidt again. He holds. Jimmy just stays with him. And it threw his stick across there in his glove, and it hit his stick, and he's able to cover it up. So. Well, he has been remarkable, this freshman from Chesterfield, Missouri, and he has played very well. And they've needed him. That was one of the keys to the game. Here's Enga. Far side. Quick shot by Rude, and a save by Mullen. Puck into the corner. Naylor couldn't control it. Puck comes to the near side. Here's Chris Kennedy with it. Kennedy, a dangerous pass in his own zone to center, but here come the Pioneers. Here's McLean trying to center it in front. It was tipped wide by Ortiz into the corner. Naylor. Here's Ferns coming out of his own zone. He's upended, no call, but on the left side is Enga. Enga moving in. A nice play by Chris Kennedy to knock it loose. Finally, the Pioneers send it down into the Colorado College zone with 58 seconds left in the second period. 4-3, Denver leads this one. It has been a fun one to watch. Glad you're with us. Here's an icing call now against the Colorado College Tigers, and the faceoff will come back inside of the CC zone. Ken Ferns tried to make a quick play up and get it up to Geronazzo and Jaroszewski along in front of the Tigers bench there, but terrific play moments ago by Chris Kennedy, Ron, as he came back and broke up Enga moving down. Enga had a lane to the goal, and he dove in and knocked it off his stick, and that's a good play by Chris Kennedy. You need that type of play as you're closing out the period and hanging on to a 1-goal lead. So the face-off to the left of Ryan Bach, and from the face-off, it's controlled by the Pioneers. Here's Ritchie with a quick shot, tried to sneak that one through. It's in behind the net. Here's Shawn Reid with it. Reid being tied up by Anderson. He comes loose to center. On the near side, Luger. He's knocked out of the play. Ritchie tried to control, couldn't do it. Here's a break now for Geronazzo. Geronazzo scores! Steve, we got an old-fashioned BUCC hockey game here. They need him, dumped it up through the middle, and Geronazzo was able to get in behind Ian DeCorby. Jimmy Mullen went down and tried to poke, and he wasn't able to get a piece of it. Geronazzo was able to dump it past his pad. Ian DeCorby tried to give him a hook, but Geronazzo stuck with it. Tried to stick on the puck, and after being hooked a little bit, and was able to slip it around Jimmy Mullen. So. Well, that's Geronazzo's 18th goal of the year, and Ron, you're a former coach. You know what that does to a coach First minute, last minute of the period, those are killers.
It's a no-no. You talk to your team about it, being ready to step on the ice at the beginning of the game, and when you go on at the end, you play good D.
So we've got 15 seconds left to play in the second period. The Pioneers push the play into the CC zone. Here's Remical at center ice. He had it tipped away. Back after it is McNeil. He couldn't control. Pioneers send it way over on the left side. Shawn Reid going back after it as this period comes to an end. And we once again have it all tied up at 4 apiece. A little bit of pushing and shoving after the period. Shawn Ortiz having a few words with Needham and Rude down there, but this one is tied up, so we find ourselves now with a 20-minute hockey game, and you see the reaction to the play from Jim Mullen tonight. He didn't have a prayer on at least 3 of those goals. We'll take a quick timeout, come back with between period activities right here on Prime Sports Network.
At the University of Denver, education is more than books and buildings. It's a set of relationships that will change the way you view the world. It's not what we teach, but how we go about it.
I came to college expecting just academics, and I got so much more than that, and it's been so much better for me.
Our teachers are more than respected professors. They are friends who take the time and effort to help you build relationships with the world and understand how different subjects relate to one another. You'll meet other friends who share your passions, your goals, your dreams, and you'll establish a very special relationship with Colorado. Denver will embrace you, and the Rocky Mountains will refresh you. Denver is the only independent university in the entire Rocky Mountain region. We'll challenge you to do more with your life than you ever thought possible. Find out more about the special friendships awaiting you at the University of Denver.
Prime Sports Network, celebrating 5 years of great plays.
If you're the kind of person who'd rather tune an engine than eat, have we got a machine for you? And in the hands of the right mechanic, it'll blow the doors off anything. Aim high, Air Force. The pride of serving your country. We can point you in the right direction. Aim high, Air Force.
There's a lot of joy in watching your teenagers grow up, and a lot of worry, too. There's so much peer pressure out there today.
We found a booklet that helped us talk to our teenager about peer pressure, about issues like smoking, drinking, and even sex.
Sometimes it may be difficult for a parent to believe, but you're the voice they want to hear the most.
Everybody needs help talking to their kids sometimes. Call for your free booklet on how parents can talk to their teenagers about smoking and other issues. The Family Course Consortium believes smoking should not be a part of growing up.
Once again, back here at the Broadmoor World Arena, Don Lucia, head coach of Colorado College, is with us. I know going into tonight's game, it is very simple. There's not a lot of pep talks. There's not much you can do. They know the standings. They know that it's all in your hands tonight.
That's right. All we have to do is be state champions tonight. And I guess that was our goal at the start of the year, to be a state champions in Colorado, and we have that opportunity tonight. And if we can achieve that goal, then the ultimate goal is there for us.
I would imagine if ever there was a case of a team showing what it's made of, yours team did it last night. A little lull, DU got back in the game, a great defensive play, and then an overtime win.
It really was an unbelievable defensive play by Eric Root, our freshman defenseman, who's been outstanding for us all season long. And, you know, to reach back like that and get a piece of it, I just thought that was going to be the end of the game there. And we came up with a big play in overtime, and that's all it takes is one shot at that point.
This is a lot of hoopla tonight, Don, here at the arena. Alumni are going to be back, and a lot of people very proud once again of this program, and I'm sure your players must feel some of that.
Well, they really do, and the Frats are going to be out in force, and you can see we have a couple hundred former players here, and it is a big night. We thought this was going to be the last game at the Broadmoor. I don't think we anticipated a home ice after last year in the playoffs, but the guys have just done a tremendous job, and now we find ourselves with one game left, have a chance at a fairy tale ending.
Is there any sense for you, was there last night, of watching the scoreboard at all, or do you pay no attention because that's out of your hands?
No, I really didn't pay that much of attention because regardless of what happened last night, it was still tonight's game. We still would have a chance if we lost and Minnesota won. So, we can't concern ourselves with that. We're just concerned about ourselves. It's something we talked about earlier in the week. Let's not concern ourselves with other teams and what they're doing. Let's concern ourselves with our systems and playing the type of hockey we know we're capable of. And then regardless of what happens, we won't have any regrets.
I know last night in the overtime, Geronazzo scores the goal, a beautiful deke, pulls Wallenheimo out. Your bench erupted. You almost looked stunned for a moment.
I was pretty excited, and when you can come back from 4 goals at North Dakota, come back and win on the road in Denver, and it almost feels like destiny. So we have one more game to see if that's correct.
How did you sleep last night?
Well, I got to sleep about 1, and then I had to get up at 6 to take my son to his hockey game at 7:15, so life gets back in perspective.
First things first, congratulations on a terrific year, and good luck in the playoffs.
Thank you.
Don Lucia from the Colorado College Tigers. We'll be back with more from the Broadmoor World Arena here on Prime Sports Network.
Circle K and Prime Sports Network have teamed up to send Nuggets fans to all the Denver Nuggets home games. Register at your local Circle K store. Look for slam dunk savings on Hershey's king-size chocolate bars and king-size Reese's peanut butter cups. Fast break to Circle K for 2-calorie Quest, 16 32-ounce bottles, and finish the break with Oscar Mayer Lunchables and receive a free Capio iced coffee with purchase. No purchase necessary to win. Circle K, we're on our way.
Would you play golf with this broken club? It could make you a better golfer than you ever dreamt possible.
Hi, I'm Al Geiberger, and I found an amazing golf club that can help you hit them longer and straighter. It's called the Medicus.
This unique hinged club monitors and grooves your entire swing. Come back too fast or use the wrong angle, and the Medicus breaks down to let you know it. Swing correctly, and it works just like an ordinary club. Use it in your backyard. Take it to the driving range. Even use it on the golf course. Medicus forces your club head into the right position.
It'll take strokes off of your game, and I promise you it'll improve your swing and you'll hit it further.
Medicus is yours for 3 easy payments of only $33. And if you call now, we'll send you this Medicus instructional video free. It's guaranteed to work for you, so order your Medicus today.
To order Medicus, call 1-800-253-8665 for only 3 easy payments of $33 plus $7.50 shipping and handling. Call 1-800-253-8665.
ESN gets pumped for March Madness. We'll hoop it up with the Timberwolves, Nuggets, and Jazz, along with conference championships in the WAC, plus the women's championship in the Big 8. The madness continues with the Big 8 Wrestling Championship and the Big 8 Track and Field Championship. We'll hit the ice for the WCHA Hockey Championship and the Division I semifinals. And finally, hit the field with the St. Louis Cardinals. It's March Madness, and PSN is there.
Broadmoor World Arena, and the cheer you hear from behind us right now as you look at the score of this game after 2 periods of play, Rod Graham, is the score from the Minnesota St. Cloud game, and that was the final finally. And we can probably take a quick look at that right now on our scoreboard here, and there you see it, 8-4. The St. Cloud State team over Minnesota, and that has a lot of ramifications.
It really does, Steve. The Gophers were able to come back and get it back to 6-4, but it looks like 8-4 win for the Huskies, and that'll give the Tigers the opportunity to be outright champions in the WCHA.
And Northern Michigan, of course, beating Tech. Let's take a look at what else is happening in the 3rd period. Minnesota over North Dakota 5-3, and a final Wisconsin over Alaska Anchorage by a score of 5-1. We have had a fun one here tonight at the old Broadmoor World Arena. The Pioneers have had two-goal leads, but Colorado College knows the score. They have an opportunity tonight now, Ron, to win the WCHA championship outright.
Yeah, and that's got to be incentive for them in the 3rd period. They've struggled at times in the 1st period, and the Pioneers jumped out to a big lead, and or a 2-0 lead, and then the Tigers were able to come back. In the second period, the Tigers really controlled the play. For the first 10 minutes with a couple of power plays, they really controlled the period. Jimmy Mullen was the difference. The Pioneers were opportunistic. They went up 2 goals, and then the Tigers came back. They scored a couple goals to make it, with 30 seconds to go, they make it 4-4 in the second.
You know, we have seen the last couple of nights, and a number of times this year bodes very well for the Denver University goaltending situation over the next 2 or 3 years.
Both are real young, Steve. Sinue Wallenheimo played well last night, losing in overtime with over 40 saves. Jimmy Mullen, I don't know what the statistics are here for the first 2 periods, but he's probably had close to 30 shots, and he's done real well, and that really is something important for the Pioneers in the next couple of years, is to have that strong goaltending.
Well, the second period has taken a long time to complete as the Broadmoor World Arena is going to be dismantled, but they weren't planning on the Colorado College Tigers and the Pioneers dismantling it.
There's Chad Ramaco. He runs past Kelly Hollingshead and decides that he's going to take out the glass, and bang, knocks the glass out, and fortunately he wasn't hurt in that situation. But,
yes, the broken glass really leads this one. The 2 teams are tied, but the old barn here is on top. We're going to take a quick timeout. We'll come back and tell you about what happened on the ice, the goals in tonight's second period after this timeout. We're glad you're with us here on Prime Sports Network from the Broadmoor World Arena.
At the University of Denver, education is more than books and buildings. It's a set of relationships that will change the way you view the world. It's not what we teach, but how we go about it.
I came to college expecting just academics, and I got so much more than that, and it's been so much better for me.
Our teachers are more than respected professors. They are friends who take the time and effort to help you build relationships with the world and understand how different subjects relate to one another. You'll meet other friends who share your passions, your goals, your dreams, and you'll establish a very special relationship with Colorado. Denver will embrace you, and the Rocky Mountains will refresh you. Denver is the only independent university in the entire Rocky Mountain region. We'll challenge you to do more with your life than you ever thought possible. Find out more about the special friendships awaiting you at the University of Denver.
This is a Pontiac Grand Am. This is a Grand. The Pontiac Grand Am comes with standard anti-lock brakes, driver's side airbag, and air conditioning. The Grand comes with a lovely portrait of Grover Cleveland. The Pontiac is high performance and sporty. The Grand is lightweight and green. With Smart Drive, you can have the Grand Am for $199 a month. You can have the Grand for a grand. So what do the Grand Am and the Grand have in common? Buy the Grand Am now. You get the Grand. This is disclaimer copy. Nothing about it is grand.
College hockey on Prime Sports Network is brought to you by North Suburban Medical Center. For information regarding prostate cancer, call North Suburban today. And by RAF Financial.
Well, they have entertained us tonight here at the Broadmoor World Arena, and there you see the score after 2 periods of play. I'm Steve Harms along with Ron Graham. This has been an exciting game, and we want to take a look at our milk scoring summary as the Colorado College Tigers and Pioneers came into this period all tied up at 2 apiece, and the Pioneers went ahead 3-2 on Eric Anderson's 9th goal of the year from Angelo Ritchie and Ian DeCorby at 8:48.
Steve, the Pioneers are on the ropes for about 8 minutes, but Ian DeCorby gets the puck up. Angelo tips it to Eric, and he goes in on Ryan Bach and throws it over his shoulder, over his glove, in the top shelf. And that got the Pioneers going, got them rolling.
They really did, and it didn't take long, just a few minutes later, for them to go up by a score of 4-2 as Andy Laxonen scored his 11th goal of the year. Anderson and Luger on the assist. That coming at 14-42, and another goal result of some hard work.
Hard work by Eric Anderson. He's got nothing to do but dump it at the net. He gets a good hard shot in. He goes in and ties up the defenseman Kent Ferns, and Laxonen comes in and picks up the rebound and fires it by Ryan Bach.
Colorado College knows the Minnesota lost tonight, but they want to win this one. They want to win the WCHA championship outright, and they get back on the scoreboard as Shawn Reid, an unassisted goal, his 6th of the year, his 2nd of the night. Unassisted at 17-12.
Pioneers trying to clear the zone. Shawn Reid comes up with the puck. Here's the play earlier. Kent Ferns comes in and misses the pass by Schmidt. Pioneers dump it around the boards. Reid gets it. He throws it at the goal. We're still not sure if Geronazzo might have tipped it, but regardless, it's their 3rd goal.
Well, Geronazzo wanted to get on the scoreboard. He scored the overtime winner last night that gave the Tigers the win. He got his 18th tonight from Schmidt at 19:30 on basically a breakaway.
Schmidt just dumps it out of the zone. He's got it, and he throws it out into neutral ice. Geronazzo breaks behind Ian DeCorby. Ian DeCorby tries to get a piece of him and hooks him a little bit, but Geronazzo strong on the puck. He's able to get it by Jimmy Mullen's pad and into the goal with 30 seconds to go in the 2nd period.
So we have 1 period of play in regulation in the regular season as things are just about winding up here. And there you look at some of the stats from tonight's 2nd period. And shots on goal, saves, face-offs, everything very, very similar.
Not too many power plays opportunities, although CC had a couple to start, but it's been a relatively clean game.
Colorado College, I think, is the least penalized team in the WCHA. They play a very disciplined style of game and don't get involved too much in the extracurriculars. Long pass tipped into the zone, and it's in the corner, picked up there by Reid. Here's Reid to Geronazzo. Geronazzo has Jaroszewski with him on the left side, gives it to him. Jaroszewski looking for a place to go in behind the net. Comes around in front, quick save by Mullen. Puck is loose. They're trying to knock it loose. Finally, well, they finally whistle it down, and that is a long time for a puck to be in the crease, even though the official can see it. Obviously, no one else can see it, or somebody would take a shot.
The Tigers came out strong, as we talked about at the end of the 2nd period there. They score late, and Pioneers weren't ready to start the period. The Tigers are into the zone. Jimmy Mullen was able to smother the puck underneath them. The referee was a little slow on that whistle. I can't imagine that he could see it there. But Jimmy Mullen's able to spread out and keep that puck from sliding underneath them and get the face-off. Got to be ready to start the period. You got to come out and win that face-off, get it in, forecheck hard, and the Tigers were able to do that.
Here's Nelson trying to wrap around. He's sent into the corner by Luger. Luger gets the elbow off. We'll see what the call is. There's going to be a penalty against the Pioneers. This one finally is touched by Denver, and the elbow is the call. And so the Pioneers will find themselves down a man and a power play opportunity now for Colorado College. No one has been successful on the power plays tonight. But what an opportune moment now for CC.
Well, it really is, Steve. And there's another example, really, of how the 2nd period kind of started with the Tigers really first to the puck all over the place. And here's Nelson in the corner. He's had a real good game, and he's first to the puck. And Mark comes in a little late. Mark Luger comes in a little late and hits him up around the head. And that's the correct call for the official. You can't be hitting the opponent in the head.
37 seconds the time. Here's Ferns with a shot knocked down by Hollingshead. Ferns directs it toward the net. Pioneers pick it up, find the opening, and send it down the ice. There you see the power play stats for the Tigers tonight. They are 0 for 3. Here's Ferns. Ferns loves the power play. He's the leading scoring defenseman on this team, but he wasn't able to do anything with it that time as the Pioneers cleared it down the ice.
Stood up on the blue line there and were able to intercept it before they tried to dump it in.
Chris Kennedy intercepts that one, Ron.
Yeah, we're talking about the no neutral ice. You can't make too many passes through there. You just got to get in and dump it in as quick as you can.
Here's Raynard on the left side. Remico with a drive and a save by Mullen. The rebound goes wide. Here's Gunther trying to dig it loose. He can't do it. Picked up by Remico. Man all alone in front, and McNeil couldn't get the stick on it. Back to the near point. Here's Reid. Shawn Reid over to the far side to Enga. Back to Reid. One times it goes to McNeil. McNeil maybe hit the goalpost or the shoulder of Jimmy Mullen, who was there to make the save. I think Mullen made the save on that one.
No angle, but he stayed on his feet. He tried to go top shelf, and there was nothing there.
There's Shawn Reid. He lifts into the zone into the right wing corner. Geronazzo after it. Back to Jaroszewski. Jaroszewski trying to control. Being watched by DeCorby. 43 seconds left. in the power play. Here's Nelson trying to wrap around, or rather make that Schmidt. He couldn't do it. Pioneers couldn't come up with it. Mullen is upended in the goal crease, and here comes Anderson. Anderson over the line with Ortiz, and they whistle that one offside as Mullen and Geronazzo were tied up back inside the Colorado College zone during that rush, but nevertheless the Pioneers were offside. They whistled it down.
But Mullen got tied up with Geronazzo in the crease. That can always be dangerous for the goaltender, because we'll have another look at it here. There's Mark Luger in the box, but Schmidt tries to throw it in front, taken out of the boards by Shawn Ortiz, and there's Geronazzo and Jimmy Mullen kind of getting wrapped up, and Jimmy gives him an extra little push there. And hey, get out of my crease there.
That's right.
That's my stick.
That's just the how do you do, isn't it?
That's the how do you do.
Puck is sent down the ice. Pioneers chase it down. Ian DeCorby after it. They don't call icing. DeCorby finds an opening and whips it the length of the ice where Ryan Bach is there to knock it down. 15 seconds left in the Colorado College power play. Mark Luger in the box. He went off for elbowing. Here's Rude tied up by Anderson. Travis Smith couldn't get it out of the zone. Finally, the Pioneers find the opening, and Ian DeCorby sends it the length of the ice. Pioneers are back at full strength, and once again they kill off the power play opportunity for the Tigers, and back in his own zone the Pioneers trying to dump it out. Ooh, a dangerous pass right in front of their own net. Here's Elders with it. Elders to Ritchie. Ritchie has nobody with him, but he tries to take a whack at it. His pass over on the left side comes outside the zone. Finally Elders dumps it back into the Tiger end. Here's Needham off the boards, too far for anybody. Mark Luger just out of the penalty box, picks it up, puts it out to center ice where he intended it for Dave Klasnick. He couldn't control, and it's back in the CC zone. Out to center ice. Here's Christopherson. Back to Shapika. Shapika moving into the slot. He tried to feed it through to Christopherson, but he was tied up by McLean. McLean runs him off the puck. Big hit by Luger. Man breaking Shapika, but that pass was knocked away easily by Jason Elders. Here's Angelo Ritchie. This is not the kind of ice surface that a guy like Angelo Ritchie likes. He wants to wheel and deal, and there's no room to do that here.
Needs a little room, that's right.
Here's Charlie Host, the fourth line for the Pioneers. They are dumped, and there's going to be a penalty against Colorado College on the hook. And the Pioneers will have a power play opportunity. We are all tied up with 16:07 remaining in the third period. 4-4, DU and Colorado College.
McMillan Sales is Colorado's choice for quality bathroom remodeling. We're proud to feature the elegant yet affordable styles of Sterling Plumbing Group, combining modern elegance with a hint of tradition. Reliable performance and lasting beauty are the trademarks of both McMillan Sales and Sterling. Together, we offer Colorado's best values. When you're ready to create your dream bath, stop by McMillan Sales. We're just off I-70 at the Dahlia exit.
We look at the replay here, and Charlie Host keeping his feet moving, and really Jay McNeil kind of got him hooked underneath the arm, and Charlie Host draws the penalty.
So McNeil goes for hooking at 3:53, and the Pioneers have the power play. They have not been successful tonight on the power play. Here's Mullen dumping it up on the near side to Andy Laxinen. Laxinen at center ice with Anderson. Laxinen just tries to throw it in front, can't do it, but he gets the puck back. Puck along the boards. Pioneers trying to dig it loose. Anderson being given the tough road by Paradise. Anderson flips it up along the boards. In behind the net, Laxinen couldn't control it. Here's Paxton with it. Paxton couldn't control. The Pioneers going after it. Charlie, or rather make that Hollingshead couldn't control it. Comes loose out in front. And finally Paradise just sends it the length of the ice. So the Pioneers will try to get things going again as they send out Mike Naylor along with Petri Gunther, Hollingshead, Laxinen, DeCorby. Eric Anderson was taken off this line. They probably are trying to get a change. Here's a pass on the right side. Naylor going after it. Bach out of the net, sends it to center ice. The Pioneers almost let it go to Enga, but finally Angelo Ritchie picks it up, and he's hit by Nelson. Loses the puck. Here comes Enga. Enga with a shot way wide of the net. He didn't really get all of the wood on that one. Got it up on the heel of the stick.
Going for the short side. He missed it on the short side.
As Ritchie was given a stiff check at center ice. Enga tries to get it out. Enga couldn't do it. Ritchie is there. He's hit by Reid, knocked down. Finally, Colorado College picks it up and sends it down the ice with 29 seconds to play in the power play. Long right side pass for Elders, but late coming out of the zone was Angelo Ritchie, and it's an offside call against the Pioneers.
Well, Angelo's complaining to the official, Tom Goddard, there about being cross-checked along the boards, and Tigers have been on the edge a little bit in this penalty kill. They've gotten away with a couple little hooks and cross-checks, but here's Enga coming down the wing. He's a little wide of the dot. He's really at a bad angle. Jimmy, puck flutters on him. Jimmy comes out and takes the angle away, and he misses on the short side. But Angelo's a little slow getting out of the zone there and caused the offside.
Well, we are 14 minutes and 32 seconds away from overtime. We had one last night. Peter Geronazzo scoring the overtime goal that kept the Colorado College Tigers in the first place hunt. A win tonight gives them the WCHA regular season championship. Into the corner, here's Anderson. He's hit by Remico. Paxton gives Gunther a few pops. Finally, it's picked up by Laxton out in front, and oh, there was an opportunity for DeCorby, but it was on his offside. It was difficult for him to tee it up. Finally, the puck is whipping around the boards down the ice as the penalty is over to Colorado College, and once again, they avoid and dodge the bullet on the Pioneer power play. We still remain tied at 4 apiece. Here's Ferns kicking it ahead. Anderson picks it up. Puck goes over to the far side. Host couldn't control it. Here's Schmidt. Schmidt along the left side. He's got Jared Chesky with him. Puck comes loose. Pioneers trying to pick it up. Host couldn't do it. Puck goes into the corner. Here's McMillan. And his clearing pass over those low boards. That's another thing we talked around about how it used to be a penalty. This is a kind of arena that would make the rules makers think, oh, wait a minute, there's no place to put it.
That really would be tough in this facility. Most of the facilities now, the class is a lot higher, both to keep the puck in play and also to protect the spectators. But the World Arena certainly is an old building, that's for sure.
Well, we had one casualty earlier tonight as a gentleman over on the far side was hit with a clearing pass in those low seats you're looking at right there.
Steve, we got an interesting stat so far in the game. The DU, I think, is 0 for 4 or 0 for 3 on the power play, and they have not had a shot on goal.
Well, from the face-off, the Pioneers in behind their own net on the near side. That was Ortiz. He sent it over to Kennedy. Kennedy hit it, sends it into the zone. As Reid takes a hit from Ortiz. Here's Shawn Reid. He's not flustered by that check. Puck comes loose to Hartnell. Pioneer was dumped in the zone. Sean Ortiz looking for a penalty. None was called. Here's Enga. He dumps it into the left wing corner. Back after it, Hartnell. Hartnell being watched by Chris Kennedy. Hartnell trying to dig it loose. Travis Smith finally comes up with it, sends it along the near boards where Needham has it. A weak shot toward the net. Those can be very dangerous if there's traffic. Here's Chris Kennedy taking a heavy hit from Enga. Kennedy puts it into Luger behind his own net. And Mark Luger trying to just wait for the line change, and now they do, and the Pioneers trying to come out. But Travis Smith couldn't get it out of his own zone and is kept in by the hard-charging Tigers. Here comes Mark Luger. He lugs it up, gives it to Jason Elders. Elders over the line trying to do it by himself. He's got no help as they're changing lines. Luger is tied up with Needham, and finally a big hit by Angelo Ritchie sends Christopherson flying. Here's Christopherson now with the puck. Puck comes loose to the Pioneers, to Corby. He gets it to Ritchie. Ritchie on the right side. Here's Klasnick. He's run off the plane. A nice play by Needham.
Strong play by Needham. Pushed Klasnick off the puck and his partner is able to clear.
Here's John McLean. His pass to Klasnick. Klasnick's pass behind Laxton. And it's picked up by Ferns. Ferns ahead to Geronazzo. He puts it into the zone, but offside is Schmidt. And we have a whistle and a face-off. 11:58 remaining to play here in the third period. We're all tied at 4 apiece on Prime Network.
Thousands have already been drawn to Biggs by our true minimum prices. But we'd like everyone at Biggs. So for 1 week, we're offering a fresh incentive no one will be able to resist. The Think Big clearance. A clearance so huge, only Biggs could have it. And prices so low, you won't want to let them get away. Think Biggs clearance. This week, it's even bigger than you think.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by Circle K. Circle K, we're on our way. And we may, Ron Graham, be on our way to another overtime game if nobody can break the ice here in the final 11:58 of the third period.
Well, both teams have played the first 9 minutes or so here pretty strong. There haven't been too many good scoring opportunities. Both teams are jumping to the puck, and they're looking for that opportunistic opportunity.
Puck is deflected along the near boards. Pioneers trying to get it out. Here's Host with it. He feeds it through to Corbett. Corbett with a quick shot. That hit Needham. That stung Needham, or Paxton rather. Paxton shaking that one off. The puck is right behind Buzan, and he couldn't see it. Here's Corbett. Corbett couldn't get control of it. His shot hit the CC player and goes into the corner. Here comes Colorado College trying to come out of their own zone. Big hit on Charlie Host by McNeil. Here's Ferns with it. Ferns gets it out to center ice to Remical. Remical over the line into the zone, trying to get by Hollingshead. His shot saved Mullen. He holds on, and we've got a whistle and a face-off.
Well, it was Paxton that got hit, and he limped off the ice. Steve, he got hit on the ankle on that shot area, blocked that scoring attempt.
Mike Corbett has a big shot.
He really does. He can really get him. You get it on the ankle bone there too, and the side of your foot. It can really sting. And the Tigers tonight are only playing 5 defensemen, so their rotation is a little bit different than it was last night when they had Steiner in the lineup. There's a battle along the boards here, and Charlie Host getting pinned by McNeil, and Buzan giving
Paradise
a little bit of a shot
there. Yeah. Well, right now the officials are down in the area of Ryan Bach, and it looks like there's an equipment problem to the left skate of Ryan Bach. So that's what we need, another delay right now. And
looking at probably the toe strap on his pad there, and that's a nightmare for a goaltender. You can't have that hanging down there. You go underneath your skate blade and you just can't move. So he seems to have waved them off, so maybe it's going to be all right.
This is the final regular season hockey game ever to be played at the Broadmoor World Arena. We told you about it at the top of the show. It has been around for seemingly forever, and a lot of people, yours truly included, used to watch on Wide World of Sports, Sports Spectacular, the big events from the Broadmoor World Arena until we saw it in person. We thought this was one of those massive coliseums, but that is not the case. Here we go, back to action. Here come the Pioneers out of their own zone. Mark Luger watched by Schmidt. Puck is loose at center ice. Here's Luger turning. He just sends it into the right wing corner. Schmidt goes back after it for Colorado College. Here's Reid. He doesn't control. Geronazzo picks it up. Geronazzo feeds it through to Schmidt. Schmidt working 1-on-3. Schmidt being watched by Luger, trying to put it out in front. He can't do it. A nice defensive play by the Pioneers. Here's Mark Luger. Overskates it. Sends it off the boards out to center, where Needham sends it back into the zone. Paxton is back out onto the ice now for Colorado College. Ron told you about the shot that he took off the stick of Mike Corbett on the ankle. A long shot by Craig McMillan for the Pioneers. That one just fluttered along. Finally, Mike Naylor tries to get to it. He can't do it. Enga hit by Kennedy.
This is a line, Steve, that got him going earlier in the first period. And like you said, they haven't done too much in the last couple periods, but if they get going, start banging, and create some turnovers, they could get the Pioneers ahead here.
Well, they've done a good job on the penalty killing. Chris Kennedy has been all over the ice, but he would like to get on the scoreboard again. And here's Mike Naylor. He had the first goal for the Pioneers. Naylor moving in on a shot way wide of the net, comes to the near side, trying to keep it in as McLean. A long pass on the left side. Here's Raynard. Raynard has Nelson in front. The puck was not in a place where Nelson could reach it. Mullen kicked it into the corner. Here's Ian DeCorby. DeCorby just flips it the length of the ice, or at least the length of the center ice area, and the puck is bounced off the scoreboard, and the puck is whistled down. Tune in on Wednesday night for live NBA on Prime Sports Network. Your Denver Nuggets are on the road to challenge the Miami Heat. Live coverage beginning at 6:30 Central, 5:30 Mountain Time, right here on Prime, so don't you dare miss it. 9:27 left to play here in the third period. We're all tied up at 4 apiece. The Pioneers took a 2-0 lead in the first period on goals by Mike Naylor and Chris Kennedy. Those were answered by Shawn Reid and Steve Nelson for a 2-2 tie after 1. The Pioneers made it 4-2 on goals by Eric Anderson and Antti Laaksonen. And the Tigers answered it. Shawn Reid, his second goal of the night. Peter Geronazzo also a goal. And that's where we stand right now with 9:21 remaining in the third period, all tied at 4. Remical had it knocked away. He gets it back and puts it into the corner. Here's Kelly Hollingshead. He takes a hit from McNeil. Puck comes along the boards to Corbett. Corbett trying to find it through. He couldn't do it. Here comes Hollingshead. Hollingshead trying to get by Reid, but on the right side, Garrett Buzan was offside, and they whistle it down, and the faceoff will come just outside of the Colorado College zone.
Garrett Buzan was just a little anxious to try and get into the zone there, and so far in the period, Steve, after 11 minutes of the period, DU has only had one shot on goal, a long, lazy shot. So, I mean, from the perspective of trying to get ahead and create some scoring opportunities, obviously they haven't done that, but they've played well defensively. They haven't been on the ropes like they were in the second period. CC has come out strong, and in this third period, they've worked hard to try and create some chances, and DU has been able to prevent it.
So here we go. Here's Rude, puts it in behind the net. Mullen couldn't control it. Luger going after it. Make that Elders, rather. Puck comes out in front on the backhand. Schmidt couldn't get control of it. He leaves it for Jarochesky. Here's McMillan. He leaves it in the corner. Geronazzo with it along the boards. Pioneers trying to find a way to get it out of the zone, and finally they do as it comes to center ice where Needham chases it down. Near side to Rude. He throws it out to center ice. Jarochesky and Luger battle for it. Luger wins it, puts it to center ice. Here's Needham just dumping it into the Pioneer zone. Looks like these teams are just trying to get the puck into the offensive zone and maybe catch a break somewhere along the line. We're going to catch a break right here on Prime Sports Network. We're all tied up at 4 apiece. 8 minutes and 19 seconds remaining here in the third period from the Broadmoor World Arena.
Oh, baby. Catch the arenas rocking for the Nuggets. Two dominating big men collide at the arena. Mutombo owns the lane in the Rockies. Shaq reigns in his Magic Kingdom. Primetime points in the paint. The Nuggets battle the Magic Tuesday at 5:30 Mountain, live on PSN.
4-4 is the score. Minnesota loses tonight to St. Cloud, Ron, so 4-4 would be just fine maybe with Colorado College.
It would be, Steve. Yeah, we've kind of overlooked it, but a tie would put them a point ahead of the Gophers and that WCHA title outright.
Pioneers coming out of their own zone. We can't forget now the Pioneers also go to the playoffs. They want the momentum of a win coming out of this. They don't want to be purely in a spoiler role.
No, they don't. They want to. It was a great save on Eric Anderson. Petri Gundry threw the puck out to Eric Anderson there, and he shot off, and Bach was able to get it.
That time Laxton put it over the top of the net. Tigers cleared out to center ice. Here's Enga. Enga with Nelson. Enga now looking for a place to go. He had Raynard moving. He gets it to Nelson. Nelson to Paxton. His shot wide. Off the boards, the Pioneers just send it the length of the ice. That will not be icing. They ruled it could have been touched on the way down the ice. And here come the Tigers out of their own zone. Paxton over to Reid on the far side. Shawn Reid with 2 goals tonight loses control of it, and a long high shot by Eric Anderson. Or was that
Chris Kennedy? I believe
Chris Kennedy.
Came in
Chris Kennedy
picked it up.
Took the long shot. Boy, he's taken a beating. Look at that face. I don't know if Chris will turn around for the cameras, but he really has. Look at that. Look at those eyes. They're both closed almost as he has taken some pounding.
He's a battler, that's for sure.
Eric Anderson moments ago with an opportunity. We will continue on live, though, with 7:25 remaining in the third period. Here's Sean Ortiz. He dumps it down into the Tiger zone. Here's Needham. Looking for a place to go. Gets by Naylor, sends it the length of the ice where Hollingshead has it, and again that puck is bounced off the boards out to center ice. Here's Shapitka at center ice. Christofferson on the left side, but Hartnell was offside on the left wing, and they whistle it down as the Pioneers were back on their heels, and lucky they got that call.
Good call by Greg Shepard, though. As the CC player Hartnell was crossing, he lifted his foot up off, and if you don't have both skates or your skate on the ice there, it's an offside. So it was the right call.
7:01 remaining, and as we mentioned earlier, Eric Anderson with a chance and a opportunity to put the Pioneers in front.
Gunther beats Paxton to the puck, and Eric Anderson goes in. He tries to throw it upstairs like he did earlier over the glove, and it hits Brian Bach in the shoulder. It's a good save.
Here's McMillan with a long shot on net. Bach makes a save, leaves it for Ferns. On the near side to Rude. Here's Rude off the near boards to Paradise. His long pass too far for McNeil, and it comes loose out to center ice. Tigers trying to dump it into the zone. Here's Remickle with it. Here's Ritchie. Ritchie clears it out to center ice. Mark Luger, the senior captain, in his own zone. He's upended, knocked down off the play. No call. Play continues. Out in front, and McNeil almost point blank. The puck bounced over his stick. Everybody was looking for a call as Luger was taken out of the play, but none was made. Here's Dave Klasnick. Klasnick, dangerous pass. The Pioneers have done that a lot tonight. That dangerous pass, breakout pass through the center of your defensive zone.
Yes, and it hasn't cost them. They've had a couple picked off, but it hasn't cost them.
Here's Gunther dumping it into the zone behind the net. Ferns after it. Ferns off the boards. No one there as the Tigers were changing, and finally the Pioneers. Corby just sends it back into the Tiger zone, back in behind his own net. Picked up there by Rude. He feeds it to Schmidt. Schmidt's pass goes awry. And I think maybe we hit on something in this thought of a tie for Colorado College. They are not pressing the issue as they had earlier on. That may have something to do with the Pioneers. Here's Ian DeCorby, fakes a shot. His shot goes right in front. Here comes Ferns out of his own zone. Ferns pass on the left side to Jarachevsky, and the Tigers change it up. Puck comes loose, bounces right out in front, and Jarachevsky with an opportunity, and it just goes wide. A funny bounce off the glass. Along the boards, here's Geronazzo. He couldn't control it. Paxton keeps it in. Nice play. Paxton moves in. Shot, score!
The Tigers are strong at the blue line. Steve, they're able to come up with a turnover at the blue line. Pioneers are not able to clear the zone. Paxton picks it up. Here's the play along the boards. Ian DeCorby dives to try and come up with it, or Jason Elders, I believe, and Paxton comes up with it and fires it. Jimmy Mullen comes out, takes the angle away, but Paxton fires it right at him, and he's able to put it through the 5-hole.
Well, that is Paxton's just his second goal of the year. As you take one more look at it, and I guess if you're going to ration out goals, Ron, this might be the time to get number 2.
It's a great time to score it. There's Eric Anderson in front of the net trying to take Schmidt. But Paxton comes up with the puck. He's strong in the zone, creates a turnover at the blue line, walks in, and I can't say he picked his spot because he fired it right at the goalie, but Jimmy didn't give him anything to shoot at, and for a goal scorer or for a shooter, put it at the goalie. Maybe you go through his pads, maybe you go through his stick, and in this case, Paxton was able to hit the 5-hole, and it's created a 5-4 lead with 5 minutes and 4 seconds to go for the Colorado College Tigers.
Well, it was Paxton's second goal of the year from Geronazzo at 14:56. It is 5-4 Colorado College. They have fought back twice from 2-goal deficits to tie it up, and have now taken their first lead of the game, and timely lead it is, with 5 minutes remaining in the third period. Kelly Hollingshead in behind his own net. Jimmy Mullen almost tipped it away as Hollingshead overskated it. Pioneers just flip it down the ice. Shawn Ortiz races after it. That goes over the line, and we do have an icing call as Shawn Reid levels Shawn Ortiz. There is no call, but quite a reaction from the partisan crowd here at the World Arena.
Shawn Ortiz, a good captain, a good assistant captain, looking for a call. The whistle is gone. WCHA, they frown on the checks or the hits or the pushes after the whistle, and Shawn Ortiz doing what he can for the team to try and draw a penalty there, and the referee, Tom Gardner, wouldn't have anything to do with it.
It is 5-4. Frank Serratori has watched his team squander 2-goal leads. He has watched them fall behind now 5-4. And they have played very, very well, really, in this game. This is a very tough place to play, and I'm not talking about the arena as much as the ice surface. When you have a team that's geared to be as offensive as their defensemen are, it is very, very tough on a small ice surface.
Well, they've lived on the edge, CC has. They scored the top in the league as far as goals scored, and they're about 4th as far as goals given up. So they score a lot of goals, and they jump into the play, the defensemen.
Shawn Ortiz takes a hit from Enga. Enga tumbles down, but the puck comes loose to center where Nelson sends it back into the DU zone. Here's Luger off the boards, leaves it there for Craig McMillan. McMillan up on the right side to Naylor. Naylor has Ortiz and Luger breaking. Mark Luger breaking from his defensive post. Now he goes back. Naylor loses his stick and the puck. Colorado College tries to clear as Paradise is checked by Kennedy. Here's McLean. John McLean up on the right side to Kennedy, who tips it into the Colorado College zone with less than 4 minutes remaining now in the third period. Colorado College leading at 5-4. It was 4-3 in overtime last night. CC won it at the DU Arena, and they would love to do it again and take a win and the WCHA regular season championship into the playoffs. Here's McNeil. McNeil looking for a place to go, had it tipped away, and finally it's just sent into the far corner. Ian DeCorby back after it there for Denver. DeCorby working his way out of his own zone. He gets it ahead to Elders, who stumbles. DeCorby with the puck, puts it up on the right side to Ritchie. He has Hollingshead breaking. Hollingshead chases it into the corner with Reid. Hollingshead pushes Reid out of the way. The puck comes loose to Angelo. Here's Ritchie with a long shot, or maybe a passing shot combined intended for Elders. Ritchie overskates it. Puck comes loose out to center ice. Fine defensive work by Ferns, the defenseman, who is an offensive defenseman but did a great job there. Ritchie loses the puck. Here's Jaroszewski with a shot wide. Long pass out of their own zone. Here's Laxinen. Laxinen into the zone. He leaves it there, but no Pioneer was able to pick it up as the defensemen were changing. Here's Travis Smith. Smith off the boards, chases it down himself. He winds up with a shot off the shoulder of Bach into the corner. It comes loose in front. Ritchie with a shot. And a good save by Bach, and it's cleared out to center ice.
That's what the Pioneers have to do. They got to get the puck to the goal. Get the puck to the goal and crash the goal.
Into the corner. Here's Petri Gunther. He chases it down. He's tied up there by Rude. They jam forward in the corner. 2:11 remaining to play, third period. 5-4 Colorado College. Here's DeCorby with a drive. Bach makes the save and holds on with Gunther on the doorstep. Colorado College holds on to a slim one-goal lead with 2:02 left in the third.
For the latest highlights and insights of the Nuggets and around the NBA, join Denver's favorite coach after the game and hear it straight from the horse's mouth. The Dan Issel Show, live this week following the Nuggets game, only on PSN. Lady Hoopsters from coast to coast take aim at conference crowds. It's high energy and heated battles on the road to tournament glory. The Big 8 Championship, Monday night at 10:30 Central, live on PSN.
That is a very unfriendly clock run for the Pioneers.
2 minutes
2:02
and
left.
2 seconds, Steve. Yep, you're exactly right. 5-4. They just got to let it all hang out here now. There's no defensive responsibility. It's all offense. Get the puck to the goal. Get down there as many people as you can. See if you can't tip something in or crash it in on Ryan Bach.
Bach sends it around the boards as McCorby tried to pinch and keep it in. Here's McMillan off the boards. Pioneers Anderson turns up on the right side. He has Gunther. Gunther looking for a place to go. Had it taken away as Christopherson controlled it. He couldn't get it out. Here's Needham with it. He's hit. Puck comes loose in the corner. Pioneers trying to control it, trying to get it loose. Devin in the slot. They can't get their stick on it. Puck is finally sent out of harm's way by Colorado College the length of the ice. It goes right to Jimmy Mullen, who sends it the length of the ice the other way. And that will not be an icing call either. Well, here's Shawn Reid. He looks for Remical. He's got him, but Remical is offside, and that'll be a face-off coming all the way down back inside the Colorado College zone. I guess, Ron, there might be, if you believe in things like poetic justice, that this might be the perfect scenario for Colorado College and the 22 wins, the most since 74, 75 when they had 23, and of course if they chalk one up they'll equal that. But with this crowd on hand, with all the Tiger alums here, you know, if you're nonpartisan in all of this, I guess you might think this is the story from which they will make the movie.
Well, it's certainly fitting for CC. Certainly they're going to win if they win this game, they'll win the WCHA championship. The biggest turnaround in WCHA history as far as points are concerned. I think they've changed, or 26 to 28 points, more than they had last year. It's in front of the home crowd, as you mentioned. The last regular season game before the Broadmoor is no longer, and I think, as you mentioned, it's fitting a storybook type of a finish for the regular season for them.
Well, Frank Serratori is going to try to rally his troops. What do you think about right now? What do you say to him?
Well, you're thinking offense. You're telling the kids, you know, you've done a great job. You've hung in there. You've had a couple leads. They've come back on you, but you've done a pretty good job tonight. Let's pull together. Let's get that puck to the goal, like I talked about earlier. Win that faceoff. Most importantly, faceoff down in the Tiger zone. You've got to get possession of it. Get that puck to the goal and crash the goal. And in that last flurry that they had, the Pioneers had one defenseman on the blue line and the other four forwards down in front of the goal. So
you remember that game, don't you?
Do I remember that game? Yes, I did.
Peter McNabb.
Yes, scored 3 goals in 31 seconds versus CC. So I remember playing with Peter. He was a sniper in college and of course in the National Hockey League and a long time with Boston.
Now, were you in nets in that game?
You know what? I think I was. Yeah.
So basically, he had to cover for you.
I was awful that night. I was awful.
And he took it into his own hands to try to cover for your inabilities in the net.
That Grahame was a sieve that night, and Peter McNabb said, I got to bail him out again, so I better go get a couple goals here. And as it turned out, he scored 3.
Well, we'll see if the Pioneers can score 1. As they trail it by 1, there you see the clock. And they are very, very excited about what's happening here tonight. And the Pioneers have pulled their goaltender, and they are looking, with 1:15 remaining, to tie this one up, which would be all right for Colorado College. They still would win the WCHA regular season outright with the tie. Minnesota lost tonight. So let's see what they can do. Here's the puck. Shawn Reid looks the length of the ice on the backhander. That goes wide, and that will be icing. What do you do right now as a coach, Ron? Because you don't repeatedly want the face-off back in your own zone. You have to really be careful about those long shots that go wide. They're automatically icing.
You talk about it all the time to the kids, and even in the pros, and you talk about if you got an opportunity, you got a second, throw it off the boards, let it go lazily through neutral ice, but you get in that setting and the hands get a little tight, and you grip that stick and you say, I can hit that goal, and they weren't able to do it. And Reid could possibly, I don't know if he's thinking about a hat trick, but maybe he was. You know, he's got 2 goals tonight, but I think he said to himself, geez, I can get this. It's down the middle of the ice. I'll just take a shot at her.
Well, the Pioneers' best face-off man out there. Here's McMillan. Back to the Corby. McMillan maybe could have taken the shot at that point.
Should have got it to the goal.
Here's Ritchie behind the net. Leaves it there for Elders. Elders puts it on in front. Ritchie with a shot. Ritchie with another shot and a save by Bach. And he holds on. A pile up in front of the net, but Angelo Ritchie right on the corner of the net. At least took 2 or 3 swipes of the puck. I'm not sure if he was able to get the shot really on net, but the door
Kennedy
was blocked.
In front of the net trying to take the defenseman out of the play, and Eric Root is pushing him there. Comes across to Angelo Ritchie, and he just couldn't get it by Ryan Bach. Bach saw the puck go across to Angelo, and he tried to get it over top of his glove, but Bach was able to scramble across with the glove and come up with a puck.
Well, the Pioneers have the snipers out there now with Elders, DeCorby, and Ritchie. They have the muscle out there, as Ron mentioned, with Chris Kennedy.
They're going to put him in front and tie up one of those defensemen and try and create a screen in front of Bach.
And the face-off man in Eric Anderson.
Need to win that draw. They get possession. Get it to the goal. There you go.
Craig McMillan with a soft shot from the right point. And that one got by Bach, and this one is tied with 49 seconds remaining. I'm not sure if it was deflected. It appeared to have changed direction. We will take a look at it. But Craig McMillan, number 4, at least put the shot on net.
Eric Anderson wins the draw. He ties up the defenseman. Angelo goes and gets it and dumps it back, and it's tipped in front by Anderson, I believe.
I think Eric Anderson is the one who touched it, and there is the man who put the shot toward the net. 49 seconds to go. I don't know what the percentage, Ron, of pulling the goaltender and tying the game is. It is not very high.
It's very low. It really is very low.
So Eric Anderson gets the goal for the Pioneers, his 2nd of the night, his 9th of the season. From McMillan. and Ritchie, and the play down in the Pioneer zone now. We still have 32 seconds to go. There's going to be a penalty against Colorado College. The Pioneers should give it up. There's going to be a delayed penalty, a slashing penalty against Colorado College. And a very unhappy Geronazzo chases the referee to the box. And he goes to the penalty box. And, you know, it's so easy up here. If you see the delayed penalty with time running out, you want to give it up, give the puck up. But that's the day you make the mistake, and it wasn't a delayed penalty. I mean, it's very, very scary thing to do.
It really is. Geronazzo is very upset, and we got a chicken on a rope here out on the ice. So he didn't really see the slash, Steve. I don't know what happened, but Geronazzo was very, very upset.
Well, that is a strange time to have a penalty. Often the whistles are placed deep in the pockets of an official, and it has to be very blatant. I didn't see it. I don't think you did.
No, I did not.
But the officials did see it. The Pioneers trying to get their lineup ready, what they want on the ice. It is tied up, 26 seconds to go. Pioneers on the power play. They have not had a shot on the power play tonight in their power play opportunities. But Eric Anderson's second goal of the night is the one that put the Pioneers in a 5-5 tie. Here's Ritchie. Angelo Ritchie trying to get around Rudy, puts it on net. Ritchie ridden heavily down and into the boards. Back to the point. DeCorby with a drive and a nice save by Bach, and that's sent down the ice. 3 seconds to go in the third period, and this one is over, at least in terms of regulation. But the Pioneers will have the power play when we come back for the overtime period. And I guess when these two teams play, Ron Graham, this is how it should be.
That's exactly right. It's a typical DU-CC hockey game, and I don't think the Tigers really got conservative at the end of the game. It was just a matter of the Pioneers winning a face-off and getting the puck to the goal like we talked about, and we're able to get the equalizer.
We'll take a timeout. We will come back once again with the overtime with you. There's the final after regulation. This is a great game.
College hockey on Prime Sports Network has been brought to you by your Colorado Pontiac dealers. See the Colorado Pontiac Excitement Team today. North Suburban Medical Center. For information regarding prostate cancer, call North Suburban today. McMillan Sales. In McMillan, you can trust. And by RAF Financial.
That's right. This is not a replay of last night, but we have a 5-5 game. The Pioneers, Eric Anderson, his second goal of the game, tied this one up, Ron.
Here's the overtime goal. Eric Anderson wins the face-off, and Angelo Ritchie gets it back to McMillan. McMillan just dumps it towards the goal, and Eric was able to get a piece of it and tip it by Bach.
Game with 49 seconds remaining to play in regulation. And the Pioneers dump it into the zone. That'll come the length of the ice down the other way. The Pioneers are on the power play. We neglected to refresh your memory with all of that, as Geronazzo went to the penalty box for slashing with just seconds to go in regulation. So 4:55 left in the overtime, a minute 29 left in the penalty to Geronazzo. There you see him. He was very upset to have a penalty called at that point. No one saw it here. We didn't get it on tape, and we have a fine crew that gets mostly everything.
Well, if it's a penalty, regardless of what time it is in the game, Steve, it's a penalty. But usually you don't see it called that late.
So the Pioneers on the power play. We'll see what they can do with it. Well, they're having trouble, as always, getting out of their zone. They get it center ice, and they just really struggle to set up. I don't recall the Pioneers really setting up their power play at all.
They haven't
during this course, the course of this game. Here's Petri Gunther.
I think we mentioned earlier too that they did not have a shot on goal on the power play.
Well, Needham fanned on it. He couldn't get it out. The Pioneers keep it in. Here's Laxinen. Far side, quick shot, great save by Bach. Rebound kept in by the Pioneers. Here's Anderson with it. He winds up with a drive. Bach saw that one all the way. Here's Gunther on the rebound. Gunther gave it to Laxinen, and Gunther was taken out of the play, and the puck is loose at center ice. Here's Laxinen. He has scored tonight. He's taken out of the play by Paxson. Paxson couldn't get it out to Corby with a nice play to keep it in. Corby just sends it in behind the net. 3:59 left in the overtime. The puck comes out to center ice where Mike Naylor has it. 25 seconds left, 28 seconds rather, make that in the power play. Over the line, here's Hollingshead. He had a clear road to the goal, and a good save by Bach, and Hollingshead was looking to pass, and he had a clear shot right to the net.
Well, Steve, I think he was a little winded. He is out there to start the power play, and I think he looked up, and he couldn't believe his good fortune. There were 4 red shirts driving to the goal. And by the time he got to the slot there, he didn't have anywhere to go. He made the right play. He got it to the goal, and I think he was a little tired, and he just had nowhere to move the puck. Bach makes a very good save. He's out on his angle again. We talked about it many times tonight. He and Mullen, and he's out on his angle. He's able to smother the puck and get the faceoff. That's a huge save.
What do you imagine the heart rate of these coaches is right now?
High.
Yeah, here's Luger. Far side, quick shot by McMillan wide of the net. Luger pitches in, tries to keep it in, takes it into the corner. Pioneers have 10 seconds left on the power play. Here's Elders along the near boards. Elders looking to walk in. Elders on the backhand, knocked away by Rude. Second night in a row, a big defensive play by Eric Rude.
Makes a great block, a tremendous block. All even now, Steve.
Power play is over. We have 3:16 left to play. It was at the 2:41 mark last night when Geronazzo scored the goal that gave the Tigers the win. Will history repeat itself? Here's Geronazzo. Here's Geronazzo trying to feed it through to Schmidt, but he couldn't do it. In behind the net, Jimmy Mullen. Pioneers looking to bust out of their own zone. Here's Luger. He's hit heavily along the boards. Kept in by Needham. Needham couldn't control it. Here's McMillan, just swipes at it. Sends it into the Colorado College zone. On the near side, here's Paradise. He couldn't control it. Corby with it off the boards in behind the Tiger net. Ryan Bach. He has been tough tonight too. Maybe not as often as Jim Mullen, but he has been there for the Tigers, as he has through most of the year. Puck comes loose out to center ice, and Corby just sends it back in. You're going to see the horses out there now for the rest of this game for both of these teams. Here's Remicle. His pass knocked away. Shawn Ortiz. Back to Corby. Out to center ice. Kennedy couldn't control it. Ferns puts it in, but we have an offside call against Colorado College, and the play will come, or the faceoff will come outside of the Pioneer zone. Left to play for that man looking for a championship. He will have it if he can hold the Pioneers off the scoreboard.
Now, Steve, we talked about the goaltending. 10 goals have been scored, but the goaltending has been very good. The goals that have been scored have been point blank deflections. The goaltending has been very good tonight. And that was one of the keys for both teams.
And you're also talking about 2 very young players. And we'll see how they hold up under the pressure. They have been magnificent tonight despite the 10 goals. Here come the Pioneers. McLean moves by one man, kicks it ahead in behind the net. Leaves it there for Naylor. Naylor back at the point. Here's Shawn Ortiz with a drive. That was knocked down by Remicle, or rather Raynard, and it comes out to center ice. Here's Corby off the far boards for Chris Kennedy. Kennedy just tips it ahead for Naylor. Naylor still with it, trying to get by Paxton. Naylor circles, looks for a place to go, sends it across to Hollingshead. Hollingshead in behind the net. Couldn't control it there was Kennedy. Puck comes loose, picked up there by the Tigers. Out of his own zone comes Raynard. His pass at center picked up by Naylor. 1:11 remaining to play, overtime period. Here's Mike Naylor in the corner, looking for someone to give it to. Finds Laxinen. Laxinen shot deflects in behind the net. Pioneers, Laxinen goes after it himself. He and Naylor were there. Laxinen comes up with it. Enga checks him into the boards. Pioneers digging along the boards for it. Hollingshead couldn't control. Finally, the Tigers clear it the length of the ice. We are under a minute to play. 47 seconds. Here's Hollingshead. He couldn't control it. Laxinen picks it up. His pass on the left side for Gunther. Gunther with a drive. Oh, and a save. Rebound in front, and Anderson couldn't get a handle on it. Here's Jaroszewski with 34 seconds remaining. Long pass to center. Back into the zone. This one has 28 seconds left to go. The Pioneers looking for the tie. The Tigers looking for the league championship. They will have it in 22 seconds if they can hold on for a tie or score the winning goal.
It's been a tremendous overtime. The Pioneers, I think, have really stepped it up a notch with the power play to start the overtime, Steve. I think they've got the only shots on goal. I don't think Jimmy Mullen has had to handle a puck or a shot. And the Pioneers are really, as I mentioned, they've really stepped it up. And they've got their hard bangers out here, their top people out here to finish the game. Chris Kennedy and Eric Anderson. And
Pioneers have pulled their goaltender again. They're looking for the win. The Pioneers have pulled their goaltender with 22 seconds left.
It's an interesting tactic, that's for sure.
They have pulled the goaltender. I don't know that I've seen this one. The puck comes loose. Here's McMillan off the boards, out to center ice. There's Elders to Ritchie. Angelo's shot deflects off Rude into the corner. We have 10 seconds left. Play in the zone. The Pioneers have pulled their goaltender. Puck in the corner. 3 seconds. 2 seconds from a championship. And it is all over, and Colorado College has done it with a tie tonight. They win the regular season in the WCHA. Let's just watch them.
I think what happened, Steve, Pioneers are looking at the scores from the league and looking at an opportunity as far as the playoff was concerned, and they took a chance by pulling the goal.
Don Lucia, Frank Serratori, very good friends, and you can see it right there. A very nice scene. Really is. You fight like dogs, you know, to win these games, to do what you have to do. The Pioneers at the other end can hold their heads high for what they have done this weekend against a team that was after one thing, as Frank Serratori comes out to greet his own team. They're going to line up on the blue line. Don Lucia gets his team out there, and Frank Serratori is talking to his team. This is what this is all about. You are seeing I think an emotional Don Lucia hugging his goaltender and his players. Who would have thunk it?
Well, they were childhood competitors from Grand Rapids and Coleraine, and Frank was really pulling for Donnie Lucia, certainly in this situation, pulling for his team, obviously. I think the Pioneers really came out and gave a good account of themselves in the third period.
And now one of the nicest things you see in college hockey, they have beat each other to death for 2 nights. And now you see tremendous mutual respect. You see great admiration on the part of some very spent young men who have played 2 overtime games in 2 nights. An emotional night. And we are so glad that we could have been part of this one with you tonight. This has been absolutely terrific. Don Lucia has done a magnificent job. We will come back and wrap all of this up in a very, very happy Broadmoor World Arena. We shall return. A tie score, and what else could we ask for?
Discover the gets results. See how this group of youngsters added an amazing 6 miles per hour to their arm strength while vastly improving their running speed and defensive skills in just a few weeks of work. Baseball World's revolutionary new video features professional scout and instructor Tommy Mansky and the same defensive drills used by Baseball World's back-to-back 1990-91 AAU National Championship teams. Lou Pavlovich Jr., editor of Collegiate Baseball magazine, calls it a masterpiece, the best defensive drill video ever produced. San Diego Padres Major League superstar Fred McGriff agrees.
I'm so impressed with the instructional videos by Coach Mansky that I've given them my full endorsement. When you watch them, you'll know why.
Baseball World's defensive drill video makes a great gift and benefits players of all ages and ability levels and improves coaches' practice organization. To order your copy for only $29.95, have your credit card ready and call toll-free. Call 1-800-253-8665. Call now and we'll ship today.
You make me feel so you make me feel so
brim with brims? It's going, it's gone. A new twist in headwear, the all-new brimless cap from Plain Geometry. It's just one less bill to worry about. No brim, no beak. This cap is turning heads. It's the latest in the evolution of fashion trends. Normally, your favorite sports caps would cost you anywhere from $18 to $28 to $30 or even more. Now, this happening brimless cap can be yours for only $15, plus shipping and handling. Be sure to include your choice of colors. Order one of the best sellers like Bad Dog, Natural, Roster, or Maroon. It's not complicated. It's Plain Geometry. The all-new brimless cap. Here's how to order.
Have your Visa MasterCard ready and call 1-800-253-8665 or send check or money order for $15 plus $4.50 shipping and handling to Brimless Sports Cap, Department Inn, Post Office Box 4943, Omaha, Nebraska 68104. Order now.
5-5 is the final, and on the ice right now, the Colorado College Tigers, by virtue of this tie and the Minnesota loss tonight, Ron Grahame, have won the regular season championship. And our McMillan Sales Player of the Game, brought to you by McMillan Sales. And McMillan, you can trust, the captain of this team, who played his final regular season game tonight, Shawn Reid, with 2 goals, leading his team to this tie and to the championship.
Here's their first goal that got him back into the game in the first period. He jumps to the opening. McNeil makes a great pass to him. He beats Jimmy Mullen low on the glove side, as we spoke about many times earlier. And Shawn Reid is the player of the game.
Well, we could not be happier than to have brought you this. You see the Gold Pan Award, and of course the playoff picture now clears up just a little bit, as the Colorado College Tigers now will take on Michigan Tech, and these are best 2 out of 3 games. Minnesota will host Denver. So the Pioneers will travel to Minneapolis to play in the Mariucci Arena, the brand new arena up there, against Doug Wood's Golden Gophers. It'll be Wisconsin taking on North Dakota. St. Cloud will host Minnesota Duluth, and Northern Michigan at Anchorage, Alaska. That was the scene at the buzzer as Brian Bach and his teammates celebrate what was a terrific season, regular season, and a very terrific 5-5 tie with a game Denver University Pioneers team. Don Lucia, Frank Serratori, close friends, congratulating each other. Final score was 5-5. This has been terrific, and we're so glad you've been with us through the course of the year. Ron Grahame, our partner tonight, Jim Conrad through most of the season. We want to thank you for being with us. We'll see you next year on Prime Sports Network.